She was living in a single room with 3 other individuals. One of them was a male, and the other 2, well, the other 2 were females. God only knows what they were up to in there. And furthermore, Susan, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to learn that all 4 of them habitually smoke marijuana cigarettes. Reefers.
Go to school, the teacher wanna fuck the students. Go to church, my preacher turned to prostitution. The prosecution never read my files. That evil ass judge fell asleep at my trial. This shit is wild. Chickens getting sick as the cows. Birds falling out the sky, fish dying in piles. It's fishy. Politicians smell like my bowels. Talking that shit, really cramping my styles. I got many. Now I'm pinching pennies, no doubt. I squeezed Lincoln so hard, a fucking booger came out. It's a shame. I used to be on top of my game. They took the shirt off my back and replaced it with chains. I met Mr. Lee Harvey from the Tea Party. He used to hate Obama till he felt Hurricane Charlie looking for his FEMA check. It's gone with the wind. When them dicks is in, you know the fix is in. For my birthday, buy me a politician. It's a shame that you got to teach the children. Everything's corrupt, everything's fucked up, everything's bout to buck me shit out of luck. For my birthday, buy me a politician. It's a shame that you got to teach the children. Everything's corrupt, everything's fucked up, everything's bout to buck me shit out of luck. Everything's a scam. Beat the next man is capital.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 48 of In the Rotation. Happy Dumb. I'm your host, Jordan, with Vito Tomaselli. We are joined in studio by Paulie Tomaselli and Joe Tippett.
Sounds terrible.
Really?
I don't get it, man. It pops you out.
It's the music in the background.
But then why isn't it doing it now?
Right out of the box for some reason it does it. Because once we let it play for a second, now there's no problem, right?
Well, no, it sounds like once I talk. I mean, I'm just saying, now I talk, now you're able to talk. I don't fucking understand this whatsoever. Again, Sound Tech, please, we'll pay you. Hit us up.
All right, help us figure this out. This is episode 48 of In the Rotation. Once again, I'll go over it again. I am your host, Ben Jordan, along with my co-host, Vito Tomaselli. In the studio with us, Paulie Tomaselli, Professor Mike Brooks, and our MMA expert, Lockport Joe Tippett. You can hear my new dog, Beans, in the background fighting with Frank. Yes, Frank and Beans, my new dog pair. They are a crime-solving duo. They do solve crimes while I'm at work, so please hit them up on Facebook. With the real plugs, though, let's give a shout out to our real plugs. Death Grip Clothing. Check them out at deathgripclothing.com. I love 2fatguys.com. 2fatguys barbecue sauce. I'm gonna squeeze it in at number 3 just so I can make Vito happy. Vito Tomaselli's 80-20 finishing school. There you go. And also our good friends over at Trash Bag Wrestlers on Facebook. Go hit them up. Give them a like. They've been posting some gems in the last week, guys. I can't believe people are still posting pictures of themselves on Facebook as wrestlers, knowing that site is out there, because they get and they find everybody.
I'm sure some people have stopped. So
I hope so. As well they should. But yeah, it is episode 48, Happy to be Dumb. Last week's episode, a little underrated, it sounds like. People need to go back and listen to that episode.
And a fantastic interview with Trevor Murdoch. Just super truthful.
Great
and
stories. Yeah,
great stories. And you're missing it. If you're a wrestler and you want to know the business from a guy who's been there, done that, you are missing out. It's free. It's a free clinic.
Well, Vito, we do start every show with the green hit. What do you got on the top of your head, bud?
I have an announcement to make. It's actually an exclusive. Yes, starting this week, I have a column on fagolovers.net. Yes, fagolovers.net.
Great.
For all you juggalos out there, yes, they need a wrestling column. And I don't really watch wrestling, nor do I have cable, so I don't know how I'm going to do a wrestling column, but I'll try my best. And, they heard some stuff on the show. They liked what I had to say, and they were curious if I could put it to words and bring it to their site. So it's pretty awesome, and what's really good about that, it's going to help this show out because I'm going to be able to shamelessly plug the shit out of this show. And if anybody's been listening since our very first show with Corporal Robinson, we obviously accredit everything to that episode doing as well as it did. I think there's over 4,000 hits at this point. To Fago lovers and the advertisements they put out there for us. So hopefully we get the same love in the future.
it is a powerful market, the Juggalo market, because if they are into you, they will spread the word for you. They will buy your products if you have products. They will mark out to you. They will tell other Juggalos about it, and it spreads very quickly in their world. All those guys are on the internet. All those Juggalos and Juggalettes are on the internet, and word spreads quick. Like that Corporal Robinson one, it was like wildfire. We were like, man, if we can get this many hits every show, this would be great.
It would be great, but I talked to Corporal.
Surpassed it by now.
I talked to Corporal Robinson this week, and he.
Really? Yes.
Yes, he gave me some Iggy's that Psychopathic is dead, and they're dying. And of course, I was rolling my eyes as he was saying it. But then he said, "Well, look who's left: Boondocks, who was like their number 3 guy, Blaze, who was their number 2 guy, and Twisted, who was their number 1 people, all under ICP, obviously."
Boondocks left a while ago.
He did, but he's talking about why did they all leave? And I said, I don't know. And he goes, it's money. Just like me, just like everybody else. He goes, we don't get paid. Nobody gets paid there. Everybody's on a shit salary, and no one makes money. And when he said that, I was like, interesting. Because, you got to take everything Corp says with a grain of salt. So,
of course, absolutely.
But the idea that people did leave and they're not there, it's... People don't leave when shit's doing really good, on any boat. Like, I'm doing really good at my job. I wouldn't quit it, unless I had a better opportunity, much like anything else. So I like to think maybe they just had better opportunities. I don't know. I guess only time will tell. But they did bring a couple new artists in. They released a new artist this week, and for the life of me, I can't even pronounce his name if I wanted to. It's some weird name, and he looks kind of like ABK's Paint a little bit. I don't know. Gotcha. He's a rapper. So there you go. I
saw this on Facebook today. Did you see that Rob Zombie's putting over Twisted?
No.
Having Twisted play at his haunted house?
No.
Yeah.
No Twisted shit.
Yeah. So hopefully there's like some. I would be very interested to see what could happen if Rob Zombie and Twisted got together, even if it was just for one song. What might happen with that? Yeah. Wow. I'm a big fan of Monoxide Child. I think he's unbelievably talented and underrated, and people in the rap world don't realize it because he doesn't get the respect because he's a juggalo and come from that. But man, that guy can rap his ass off. Yeah, man, Twisted's the shit. They've been there, done that when it comes to the rap game, and branching out, I hope, is a good move for them. They're still touring, and there's tons of money to tour. It takes tons and tons of money, so they're making it, or they wouldn't be able to still do it. What really hurts, though... there was also a story, I guess when we're talking about juggalos and that whole thing, we never got to it before. We talked about it off the air, and you said it was a better story to tell on the air about our friends Rebel Inc. getting a spot to play at the Gathering. Do you have some more information on that? Because we talked about it on the air a few weeks ago. You're not going to believe this, but I want to can I pause there for just 2 seconds and finish a Twisted story that kind of ties to the same thing? So everybody knows that the Psychopathic Riders. So basically, okay, everybody under Psychopathic. Now they also have Hatchet House. Hatchet House is where like new artists come on board, and once they prove themselves there, they get brought up to Psychopathic Records. Well, Psychopathic Records was just ICP, Twisted, Blaze, ABK, Boondocks, and I think that's it. DJ Clay was Hatchet House, but he's basically their DJ. Anyways, so then what I see, all the rappers are kind of their own genre, but it all has to do with some kind of horror theme in a sense, right? ABK is just a killer, Blaze is dead, Twisted's insane, and ICP's clowns. So Boondocks are Pumpkinheads. Yeah, killer clowns, But then they do this really awesome thing. Every 3 years they record an album as the Psychopathic Riders. And the Psychopathic Riders is old school, basic, easy raps with old school 80s beats. And it's those guys all dressed up in gang rags and, Mexican-esque one button on the top shirts, and low rider pants. And it's super, super, old school, and their public loves it. Then every couple of years, they do a Dark Lotus album. And Dark Lotus is more like Disturbed meets rap music, where it's more like a metal kind of rap. All those same guys, again, in a different gimmick. So now that that's gone, that hurts the Gathering, doesn't it? Sure. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. And my initial thought is could this be the thing that fractures that whole bubble that those guys live in? Jay and Shaggy. They made a lot of money off those guys, dude. They pulled a lot of points off those guys. So. And do you think the fans could turn on them because of who's leaving, and their business dealings they're eventually gonna come out? Well, I will tell you this much: the tour they're on right now, I can't think of the name. The Mighty Death Pop tour they're on right now.
My good buddy Nate was out there, and Nate saw them the night before Massachusetts, and I don't remember the venue. He said there was 200 people there. 200 people there for an ICP show. That's like, I mean, cancel the show. That's not even enough people to put their fucking show on. So that's kind of scary, you know. I don't know. And I know before all this happened, there was the old school juggler movement attacking the new school juggler movement because they didn't think it was still the same fucking thing. They actually hated it. So, so that's scary. Then they lose these other artists, and that's kind of scary. So, I don't know, man. The Gathering helps, but the Gathering bleeds money. You know, I heard they rent that place for $1 million for that one week. $1 million, and that came from the guy that helped jump my vehicle. He was the guy on site guy. It wasn't like I heard it from Corp. The guy that actually jumped our vehicle because the battery was dead, and we were just making small talk because it took him like 15 minutes to do it. And he's the on-site maintenance guy. He works 2 weeks a year because 2 weeks later, some Harley gimmick comes through there and does the same thing basically, and that's it. Then the guy closes camp for the other 50 weeks out of the year, collects. And the guy goes, he gets $1 million per party. $1 million per party. And then he's out. Goodbye, Butters.
Goodbye, Butters.
Yeah, and he's fucking out. So, I mean, that cost him. And with the 100 acts, I mean, Jesus Christ, Kevin Nash gets $5,000. What do you think? What do you think Ice Cube gets?
Yeah,
10.
Ice Cube's not living
$10,000. Ice Cube gets $200,000 if he gets a penny.
Every bit. $250,000 to leave his house.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, but again, maybe we're wrong. Maybe there's a different going around. I don't know. But it
just seems like everything is ready to crack, and the rug, the veil is going to kind of get pulled off those guys, and they're going to realize that. And their fans are going to revolt against them. I really see it about to happen.
I will say this much. Joe Bruce is one of the smartest dudes I've ever been around in my entire life. No, not sucking ass. I don't need to. I'm kind of in there when I need to be in there. But I'm telling you, he's one of the smartest guys on the planet. And if anybody can rebound from a bad time, it's Joe Bruce. So,
I don't doubt you.
Yeah, I don't know. But to explain to explain Rebel Inc., this is kind of funny. So to recap, we talked about this probably 10 shows ago, but I may as well kind of recap a little bit. Adam was on our show. Adam from Rebel Inc., and then he hit me up saying, you know, I know you're with the Clowns. Can you get us on the Gathering? It's a huge show. So I hit up my connections over there, and I used to be tied directly to Violent J, and you could pretty much get anything done that I wanted, and I lost that. So I don't have a connection to him anymore. So now I have to kind of go through his, you know, the 20 guys that are the hanger-oners. So it's kind of hard to get things done. So I get a hold of one of my dudes over there, and I let him know who Rebel Inc. is and why they're important and why they'd be awesome for the Gathering. And he says, give me a couple days, I'll get back to you. So he gets back to me and says, they could definitely be on the show. You know, send us some of their information, and blah, 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 blah. So I get a hold of Adam, and he sends me a PSA. I send the PSA to him. Then my guy in the field gets back to me and says, well, they might have to pay to get it. Or no, I'm sorry. They're not going to get paid for the gig. They're going to do it for free, but we'll let them in the park. But they're not going to get paid. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're a real band. They're opening for Chevelle right now in a national tour. Like they're not juggalos that just want to get in for free, you know?
Right. Exactly.
So I kind of avoid Adam for a few days because I don't know how to really tell this guy that I think like is my favorite band basically to tell him they got to play for fucking free. So I hit him up and he's like, that's fine, no problem, that's fine. Whatever we got to do, we want to get on the Gathering. And I'm like, okay, this motherfucker's serious. Okay, that's the shit. So I get a hold of Sam, and I'm like, all right, they're down. What's the next step? I don't hear from them for like a week. And I fucking hate that, you know?
Yeah, that's shitty.
You feel like an asshole then.
Right. And, you know, I'm trying to hook up, like I say, my favorite band now, and now I have no answers.
And now you might have an end to hang out with them if we're there.
Exactly. So then Sam hits me back, and he goes, all right, they're booked. But they got to pay to get in.
Oh, fuck you.
So they got to do it for free and they got to pay to get in. And so I asked Sam why, and he said because last year they basically let in like 200 people for free that played, and they were just a bunch of suck-offs. You know. So everyone has to pay to get in that's not paid talent. I said, oh, all right, here we go. So I call Adam. I go, hey, man, I don't really know how to tell you this, man. I go, but they want you guys to pay to get in, so you basically got to pay to play. He goes, whatever we got to do, I want on the Gathering. Whatever the fuck we got to do. It's like,
Wow, this guy's he. You know what? Let's go for it. There's a whole different crowd there.
Yeah, well,
right?
and he knows he's going to print out like 10,000 CDs, and they're just going to walk the campgrounds and hand them out. And then he goes, "You think I can bring a generator and just play by my campsite?" I go, "There's really no rules, but I can't tell you yes, so I guess so. I don't know." So then he goes, "Well, I'm going to set up a tour, and we're going to do as many towns on the way down and as many towns on the way back up to recoup the money." He goes, "But I need to know now." This is like 2 months ago. He goes, "So we can set these dates up." So I hit up Sam. I go, "Dude, they're down. Everything's cool. They're down. What's the next step?" Week goes by. A fucking other week goes by. So Sam hits me back up and he goes, here's email this email address, all your guys' information. And he goes, and here's the website. It's the basic Juggalo website that you go when you want to play. It's the basic. There's nothing special about it. There's no direct connection. They're not now booked like he said that they were fucking booked.
Right.
Okay, so now I got to hit Adam back up and go, here's the J Brone fucking email because you're a fucking jobber. Email these cocksuckers. Well, we already did it 2 months ago. Start over. And I have no connections to these people like I told you that I do, basically. So he says, no problem. Thanks for everything. Blah, 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 blah. I'll email them. 20 minutes goes by, and he calls me back, and he goes, my email got mailer demoned back to me.
Unbelievable.
God damn it. What the fuck? So I go, send me your information. So he sends it to me, and now I send it to the email address from me saying, hey, it's Vito. I'm one of the haters. This is my buddy's band. Like, just, give them a listen. And I sent them a photo of them playing in front of like 10,000 people. There's a shot from behind them, and there's a fucking sea of people. Mailer demon. Back to me.
Whoa.
So I call KG, and I'm fucking hot at this point, right? And I'm like, first I email Sam, like, what the fuck are you doing to my friends? And I tagged Adam in it so he can see that I was talking to somebody, and this isn't just me J-broning him out.
Right.
And I go, dude, I'm embarrassed. You guys have fucking lied to me. You told me this. And I cut a fucking promo on him. So then I call KG because I had to wait a week to hear from fucking Sam. And KG's like, dude, I did the same thing to a local band around here. They got the same result. They got Mailer Demon. He goes, and I feel like the biggest fucking jerk on the planet. And so Sam goes, well, I'm trying to get a hold of Jay to find out answers to this. And as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. And I'm like, does Jay do websites? Does Jay make the fucking email addresses? No. Who's your webmaster? Who's the Jay doesn't do that.
No.
He raps.
He hired someone to do that for him.
So you need to ask Violent J what to do so that he can go, oh, let me contact the fucking email guy? Does he really need to be bothered with that? You can't go, hey, email guy, this doesn't fucking work. Get a Gmail. They're free. They're free and they work. Google.
Aren't you wondering why you're not getting any emails of bands wanting to fucking play at the gathering?
Because this is what's going to happen. 1 week prior, Jay's going to have that time to talk about the other bands because that's about all the fucking time he has for it. And he's going to go, who's on the docket? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Dougie, where's the fucking email list? I thought you had it. Well, I don't have it. And then they're going to be scrambling.
Oh, no, Dougie will say Chop had it. It's a vicious
it'll be a
everyone
fucking
throwing
nightmare.
Everyone under the bus. That's the biggest problem there. No one wants to man up to Jay and say A, B, C, and D.
Not say nothing. Just get it fixed. Who's your fucking webmaster? Is it Bill? Get a hold of fucking Bill and say this doesn't work.
Well, if you remember, we got in trouble on the tour for taking initiative and doing what we had to do. And he goes, why are you setting up the ring? That's our job.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to delegate it to people. Like,
it's insanity, the fucking tiptoeing that goes on in that place, and nothing gets done, and that's why people leave, and that's why people don't get paid money, and that's why everybody points the finger and says, why am I not a millionaire like everybody else in this fucking places? It's fucking bullshit. It's jobber. It's fucking pure jobber. So Sam gets a hold of him and goes, the email address works. Send your shit again. He gets mailer demoned again. This is 2 weeks ago now. So then Sam hits him up a week ago saying the same thing. He gets mailer demoned again. Today he goes, Sam, any word? Sam reads it and doesn't put a fucking comment. And Sam's one of my boys. You know what I mean? So I hate to shit on him, but fuck you. What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
What are you fucking doing around there?
They're exactly it. I'm telling you, the walls are crumbling on the Empire.
They can't get a fucking email address straightened out.
All these guys that were willing to eat shit because they thought they were being a part of something and they were eventually going to make money, and all are realizing that that's not going to happen. They're all bailing, and now all those people that Joe relied on to hold the walls up, they're not there. And now they're going to rely on new shitheads that they're going to try to get over, and it's going to be like Curtis Axel getting pushed down your throat.
Well, you know who another guy is that's now working under Joe is Ryder Blue. Our boy Dave Christ. He got brought in, and he did one tour, and he's ready to fucking run the other direction.
No shit.
He's like, dude, this is too much. He's like, this is insane. This is just too much.
After your third chicken boy that you've made for that tour, you want to get the fuck out of there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of insanity sometimes, and it's a full-time job to make $500 a week. It's not. It's a lot of fucking work. A lot of work goes into that show.
Yeah, exactly. And all those guys that were willing to work hard for $500 a week are no longer willing to do it for $500 a week because ultimately, that's probably still not worth it.
Yeah, no, especially when they'd give us $200 to $300 to wrestle every time we wrestled, and then they wanted to give us $500 a week to wrestle 7 days a week. No,
on top of stage performing, which we got an additional bill for that.
Yeah, so we got paid extra every time we did something, but then they wanted to send us on a tour, and it was like, well, this is what it is to do the tour. We weren't going to turn the tour down, but it was like, but we get paid normally a lot more to do a lot less. I just want to do a lot less. But nevertheless, I would never change that experience or anything that we got from it. It was amazing, and I would have done it for free, so I can't say that. But to continually do it, you can't do it. So we all know what's next.
In only 1 year, considered as a veteran.
You're breaking up, sir.
Yes, I wasn't saying anything because I wanted to see what was going to happen, and it's funny that it broke up. It's something coming back from the music. You got to say something first to somehow bring me above it.
Awesome.
Awesome. But yes, have you guys heard? It's been the sensation of the internet. Miss Utah and her epic answer at the Miss Universe contest or Miss America. No, it's the Miss Universe contest. Right?
I actually got a real quick soundbite of it. It sounded like this.
It was very similar to that. Brooks, Joe, are you familiar with this?
I was not paying attention to this competition. I know. Sorry.
Me neither. Go ahead, Joe.
I said I saw the headline, but I didn't hear what she had to say. I'm sure it was dumb.
Oh yeah, it is epically stupid, and it's one. I guess.
Hey, I don't know if you realize or not, but Jerome Jenkins was there. Ben, are you aware of this? That he was sitting in the crowd that night, and he ran into Miss Utah afterwards, and he actually told her this.
Listen, Cart. Today ain't your day.
It's a true story.
I don't doubt that. Jerome Jenkins is a very honest man. So here's what I want to do. I want to actually play it, and then we'll all kind of react. We'll go around the room and react to how epically dumb. And then I have another thought on this, too, to kind of take it a different direction. So let's hear Miss Utah USA, Marissa Powell, was asked about income disparity between men and women. This was her answer.
A recent report shows that in 40% of American families with children, women are the primary earners, yet they continue to earn less than men. What does this say about society?
I think we can relate this back to education and how we are continuing to try to strive to figure out how to create jobs right now. That is the biggest problem, and I think especially the men are seen as the leaders of this, and so we need to try to figure out how to create education better so that we can solve this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Utah.
Thank you, Utah.
Yes, thank you, you fucking stupid bitch. Just keep looking hot and suck a really, really rich man's dick that's about to die. You'll be fine.
Unbelievable. We'll start with Paulie Tomaselli. Paulie, what's your initial reaction to hearing that?
I feel dumber for having heard that.
You want to date her?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't even seen her, but I'm sure she's hot. But no,
super hot.
Yeah, it's stupidity at its finest. I mean, come on. You're these girls really, and I know they go to these classes, but they need to pay better attention to these classes to learn how to think on the fly and really give a thought. And
they don't have a thought. They're just hot. You know what? Here's a thought. Why don't we just have them suck dick, show their tits, finger themselves, Yeah, just finger themselves to completion, and then just tell a funny story. Other than that, let's ignore that they're smart.
There's actually a website out there where they have girls do that, and they can earn $1,000 to $5,000
Good.
a day.
Yeah, right. Backdoor casting couch.
I fucking love that one too.
Yeah, because that's what's
Professor
next.
Brooks, Professor Brooks, what is your reaction as you sip on your wine?
Did this lady claim to have gone to college?
I would imagine.
Who knows? Yeah,
I can't imagine her having anything but average pedestrian grades. And if it was anything but that, then you'd have to assume that she has very good fellatio skills.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just incredible. Like you can't. It's not even good. You can't speak sentences. You just can't.
We need to make education better. Like what?
And you know what? And it's come on. I mean, there are people we all know that are book smart, and there are people that can think on the fly. And it's rare when those two traits are combined in the same person, especially on a higher level. So I don't expect everybody once the cameras are on, the lights are on, somebody shoves a microphone in your face and asks you a question. I can forgive the moment.
Whoa,
sure. But like that to like.
Jeffrey Franklin Trapezzano.
Sorry, wrong one.
My question is,
but look at it, dude. David, this isn't their first pageant. To get to this, you've won multiple pageants at this point.
That's what I'm saying. You should have an answer for everything.
And not only that, it's not like they asked her how is she going to end the fighting in Turkey. They asked her about what is going on every single where around this fucking country. Everybody's out of a fucking job. You don't have one thought in your fucking head. You don't have one.
The income disparity, don't you practice things that you're gonna fucking get asked? And
they know the questions ahead of time, dude. They've dumbed this down that much for these bitches.
The best part is that her go-to was education.
Right.
She was gonna spin whatever question you could tell that was her go-to, like her Ric Flair move when the shit goes bad and you got to cover for it. She was gonna go to education. Even though the question had nothing to do with education at all, her answer was going to be education.
Which answer is worse, though, Ben?
I take everything back. She's so incredibly hot that if she's listening, hey, give me a call. I'd like to take you out for a burger.
Yeah. And then she could throw it up afterwards.
That's fine.
Paul, you got a thought?
Yeah. Which answer is worse, though? Miss Utah's or Miss South Carolina from a couple years ago with like and such as?
Fucking up everything. I was going right to that. Way to go, Brandon. I was trying to find it, and I was gonna organically feed it in, but Brandon just had to do it.
Well, that was pretty organic.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
Because I'm a dummy.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa. It should help the Iraq and the Asian countries. So we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you
we
very
need more
much,
maps.
South Carolina.
And if Mario Lopez was any kind of fucking stud, he would have just turned to her and went, listen, stupid. That was a stupid. I'm going to give you one more minute to think about this for a second. I'm going to go to break. When we come back, I want a better answer. That was stupid. That was fucking stupid.
Better answer.
Yeah.
Now suck my cock.
Why can't?
Here's my question, guys. Why do we even ask these questions to these girls? It's to see this happen, right? It's to see this happen every once in a while.
Yeah, Joe, what's your thoughts?
Car race because you want to see the crash.
Yeah, I mean it's like you said, Vito. These girls have spent their whole life just being pretty. That's been their job. Even if it's like asking a pro athlete. If you ask the lineman for the Cowboys the same question, he'd probably give you the same response. He's spent his entire life not doing something that requires him to have an education. And if he does have a qualified education from somewhere, it has nothing to do with him having good grades. It has something to do with either him being a good athlete or, in her case, just being hot.
Sure, but the difference may be, and I'm not really a sports guy anyway, but I would assume they would at least give you something else, and they would like burp into the fucking camera afterwards. Like they would at least they would give you something. This bitch with the such as and maybe an education. I mean, I want to grab them by their hair and I want to mouth fuck them.
Hard. The U.S. Americans don't have maps.
Yeah, they don't have maps. The U.S. Americans and the maps of the Germans.
She just threw Obama in the middle of a sentence for real.
Yeah, it's like
You're just saying buzzwords.
Yeah, it's like overload. They told her, when they say this, and she just couldn't remember it all. So she remembered 10% of it and sporadically spaced it out over and
I feel bad. I feel like I'm the guy who's like watching some people make fun of retarded children and like I'm not doing anything and saying anything. You should just knock that off, okay?
Yeah.
You guys are doing. You're just
Hey,
picking on
these
somebody.
bitches
trying to score points, motherfucker. She's not listening. Right?
These fucking bitches don't even pump their own gas. They have it so easy in life. For this to happen to her, she needed this to knock her down a few notches, I'm sure.
And at that moment, right? You're Miss Utah. At the end of that, you turn around, you walk back, and in your head, you go, well, I know I'm not winning this motherfucker.
But, dude, you know what? It's actually something better happens. Now she's going to be on the Today Show. She's going to be on Howard Stern. She's going to be on every single outlet. She's going to be in every magazine. TMZ's going to cover her for the next... Yeah, TMZ's going to cover her for the next fucking year.
She could be on next seasons of Survivor. I
Right,
mean,
she'll be on Survivor.
Yeah.
She'll be, she might even get like her own sitcom.
that dumb bitch from
did
South
she
Carolina was on Amazing Race.
Yeah, that's what happens.
No.
Can you name any of the chicks that have won? Any of the other
No.
ones? No, you can name the one Utah or just where she's from in Miss South Carolina.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
shows you right there.
Because you know what? Those things don't matter. And if you sit at home and you watch that seriously and you're listening to this show, kill yourself. And don't like blow your brains out. Like I want you to paper cut yourself to death. Seriously.
Right.
Seriously.
Don't make it so messy that someone else has to clean that shit up because that's just rude.
No, I'm saying die a slow death. Slow death because you deserve it. You fucking idiot.
Carbon monoxide. That's the easy one.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ. I can't believe anybody watches that shit.
So yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, and we're here expecting them to be rocket scientists too. So who, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Not
It
rock.
is what
Okay,
it
what do
is.
you
It's
think
just
about
rock,
the
that's
fledgling
about it.
work
You're-
system? What do you think about the people being out of work? Obama, such as what? It
I
sucks.
think your problems with the whole competition, the idea that somehow they're parading around the fact that this is just like who's hot and who's not.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's just cut to the chase. Parade them out there. Bring on that bikini scene. Get them out. I don't know. Archery. You're good at archery. All right, fine. Maybe you're a falconer and you want to show off your falconing skills. That's cool. But don't expect like these chicks to be diplomats or something because it's just ridiculous. Why even bother with the question?
Right. Sucking dick. How many cocks have you taken in one time? How many guys you've been with at the same time? How many guys you've been with in the same day? Those are questions I want to see those girls answer. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about
the
them.
ratings would be through the roof. if
Through
they had
the
questions like
roof.
that.
Through the roof. You want to change that competition? Change it that way. And have all the girls from the Bunny Ranch be on the first season. It would be the biggest show ever. Ever. Showtime should do that. It's $1 million idea.
Do we got any contacts at Showtime?
Yeah.
We can get this.
Miss Whore Universe or something.
ITR Live presents
Yeah.
Miss Whore Universe.
Miss Whore Universe.
Dude, there's some porn stars that could definitely win that. Like Gianna Michaels, that bitch is a whore.
They're all whores.
Yeah.
Every last one of them.
Yes. So shifting gears from stupid beauty pageants, beauty pageant contestants. I've got another story that I thought was funny and involved.
Whoa! Shut up, Abby Martin.
Oh, Abby Martin.
Go ahead, Ben.
She can do whatever she wants.
That is true.
Yes. How about this story? Did you guys hear this story about Vladimir Putin stealing the Super Bowl ring of the Patriots owner?
Incredible.
And this is an awesome story. So let me read this. The Super Bowl ring is one of the greatest symbols of athletic triumph. NFL players have been known to break down when they can finally fit that particular bit of jewelry on their fingers. And I've met enough former players, coaches, and executives who would never be separated from their rings to know that the buzz lasts forever. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft has 3 such rings. The ring Kraft won for the last Super Bowl at the end of the 2004 season went missing in a very unusual way. As the story goes, Kraft met Russian President Vladimir Putin at a gathering of business and political leaders at a palace near St. Petersburg, Russia. I'm going to pause right there and say, what would you have given to be a fly on the wall of that gathering of business and political leaders?
Do you know how many hookers died that night in St. Petersburg?
Right? Holy shit. This happened in June of 2005. I can only imagine the people that were there. Kraft and Putin talked a while. Kraft took off his ring to show it to Putin, and Putin promptly put the ring in his pocket and walked off. Quote, I showed the president my most recent Super Bowl ring, Kraft said in a subsequent statement. Putin was, quote, clearly taken with its uniqueness. Quote, at that point, I decided to give him the ring as a symbol of respect and admiration that I have for the Russian people and the leadership of President Putin. Yeah, but as Kraft, that's what he said at the time. But as Kraft said recently, per the New York Post, that's not what really happened. Quote, I took the ring out and I showed it to Putin, and he put it on and goes, I can kill someone with this ring. Kraft said during the Carnegie Hall's Medal of Excellence Gala in New York City, quote, I put my hand out and he put it in his pocket, and 3 KGB guys got around him and walked out. On Sunday, Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov denied the allegation. What Mr. Kraft is saying now is weird. I was standing 20 centimeters away from him, and Mr. Putin saw and heard how Mr. Kraft gave him this ring as a gift. Through NFL.com, the team seemed to want this story to go away very quickly. It's a humorous anecdotal story that Robert retells for laughs. This is their statement. He loves that his ring is at the Kremlin, and as he stated back in 2005, he continues to have great respect for Russia and the leadership of President Putin. In particular, he credits President Putin for modernizing the Russian economy. As Kraft told it more recently, were it not for the intervention of the White House, this could have gotten ugly. Kraft wanted his ring back, obviously not intimidated by Putin's alleged ability to kill somebody with it. The ring came in at 4.94 carats and was worth well over $25,000, and Kraft was not amused. He said that he got a call from the George W. Bush-led White House telling him that it would really be in his best interest of relations between the two countries if Kraft would change the story and say the ring was a gift.
Hey, Bob. It's George, Bob. Imagine that phone call.
Exactly. Could you imagine that? I really didn't want to, he says. I had an emotional tie to the ring. It has my name on it. I don't want to see it on eBay. There was a positive.
Do you really think that the guy's going to sell it on eBay? Isn't that a fucking stupid statement?
Yes, it is. But the point is, still the same.
That would have been awesome, though, in total moxie to throw that bitch up on eBay, though. I'm like, fuck you. Here's a fucking
exactly.
This is a shitty gift. I'm putting it on eBay.
And doing it for like $10. Yeah. Like, buy now, $10.
Imagine how many
free
fans
shipping.
would buy that.
Free shipping.
We'll ship worldwide. Yeah.
So he tells this guy at the White House, I really want my ring back. He says there's a pause at the other end of the line, and the voice repeated, it would be in your best interest if you were meant to give the ring as a present. According to the Post, the ring is now kept in the Kremlin library, presumably in the ill-gotten booty section. No word as to yet whether Roger Goodell has fined Putin. But yeah, I think that's a hilarious story. It's really in your best. How about he had to go through the White House to try to get his fucking ring back?
You know what I would have done?
What would you have done?
If I was the head of that team, I would have said, you know what? I wouldn't even argue with him. I would have just given him the fucking ring, and I would have said, why don't you come to our next game with the ring? I want to put you over. This is your ring. I actually want to make you an honorary player of the team. You're just going to go out, take a couple snaps. We're going to make a big marketing thing out of this. We're going to tie Russia to America, the whole thing. I'd get him in the locker room, and at gunpoint, I'd take that fucking ring back. And then I'd throw his ass right the fuck on out of there and go, what are you going to do about it? The fuck out of here. That's how I would do it.
You said you had mentioned in pre-show prep that you had some stories, Vito, related to this about guys at work talking about this whole story.
Yeah, but it was more that they're football guys, so they were like, he doesn't have respect for the ring and what this ring means and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, this guy's like, if not the number 2 most powerful man in the world as far as a face of the world that you could possibly get. Go ahead.
He's stolen presidencies. He doesn't give a fuck about a ring. He'll take whatever he wants.
Right, it's pure moxie. And if I was him, I'd be taking photos with my fucking shirt off. My shirt off in the ring, and I'd be doing like the Four Horsemen 4. Yeah, like, what are you going to do, motherfucker? I'd have like the American flag burning behind me. Like
selfies in his bathroom.
That ring would somehow be around my cock. And
like, fuck you. I would have it sized to fit my dick, and I would be sending their players photos of my dick constantly.
I think it's pretty fucking gangster.
Like a throne.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fucking gangster of a guy to just be able to be like, hey, let me see that ring. bloop in my pocket. I'm gonna sit around and these badass KGB motherfuckers are gonna. Yeah, what you gonna do about it?
The fuck you gonna do about it?
He put on his serious face and walked away.
This is my serious face.
Now
Yeah, he did.
suck my cock.
Now suck my cock.
That's basically what he told him. Yeah, that's fucking true. And then the guy from the football team said this: "Give me my ring back," and he said, "No, you can suck my cock."
Now suck my cock.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, no, I think it's funny. And you know what, man? Hey, fuck you. Don't give your ring away. How about that?
That's the best point. Just don't show your jewelry to other men.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? How about when you go to Russia, don't bring anything valuable. Anything. Anything.
At all.
Especially in front of a guy who you know for sure has had people killed. For sure.
Oh, right.
Oh, he's killed people in his own. Well,
Or
with
killed
his
him
bare
himself.
hands.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
you know that man's killed with his bare
A
hands.
guy that can walk down the street and shoot somebody in the face in bright daylight with a cop that's standing next to him, and they would just go, "What do you want us to do with the body? I'll just get it out of the way." Okay, they don't. He's not in trouble. I mean, there's. You're gonna flash your fucking $25,000 ring around this guy? Fuck you, jobber. Buy another one. You're not broke. You're part of Kraft. I'm pretty sure you can afford another $25,000 ring. $25,000 probably fell out of his pocket when he was doing laundry. You know, like just buy another one, stupid, and shut up.
You're the owner of the Patriots. You can afford it.
You sound like a baby. Not only the Patriots, Kraft. You ever heard of macaroni and cheese?
I
it's
know.
fucking huge.
I know.
Fucking huge.
Just
That's the guy that Artie and Baba Booey and all those guys got privately flown just to a gig to hang out with them for a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You want to know where else Kraft macaroni and cheese is actually sold? Do you know where, Brandon?
The store.
Sure, Walmart, actually. It's sold at Walmart. And I don't know if you guys are aware that, like, the death trap that is Walmart. Joe, how about you? Do you know how Walmart sucks?
Sure. How much does Walmart suck?
A lot. How about you, Brooks? You guys know the conspiracies behind Walmart?
That they're driving prices down. They're making food that's GMO friendly, a little more available. They're trying to break unions.
How about each store? Each store costs the state about $1 million a year in food stamps.
And don't they say no? We're not going to pay $10 for that for our store. We're going to pay
3 cents.
Yeah, and
what are you going to do about it?
Nothing. You want to be in our store?
Yeah,
that's it.
They cost taxpayers. Well, first off, their president a year makes $20 million a year. Well, their employees make about 8, depending on each state and depending on what unemployment is, or not unemployment, minimum wages, and they don't give benefits anything. So their Walmart employees are one of the number one employees that collect government assistance. And then they sit there and they talk about their benefits and how much they're making and how great we are to our employees. Join the team, right? Well, I can explain it, or I could tag out to my favorite tag team partners, Abby Martin, and she can just go ahead and smarten us up in a 5-minute clip. Fair enough, guys?
I love Abby Martin.
Yeah, she can do anything she wants.
Show him! Put him on the glass! Put him on the glass!
Shot.
So I'm sure you guys have probably heard one or two bad stories about Walmart in the past. But I think the corporation's been given a bad rap. You want to know why? Because I'm a sucker for advertising. Nothing I love more than pop music and Hollywood celebs. So when Walmart held its annual shareholders meeting in Fayetteville, Arkansas, it was like the perfect storm for me and for the 14,000 Walmart employees that attended. The event featured special in-house performances by award-winning artists like Jennifer Hudson, Kelly Clarkson, and John Legend. And in a surprise twist, heartthrob actor Hugh Jackman graced the stage and spoke very sincerely about a very important subject. How awesome Walmart is! But just when you thought it couldn't get any better, guess who showed up? The Maverick himself, Tom Cruise. Oh yeah, baby, Tom Cruise. One of the most overpaid Hollywood celebrities took to the Walmart stage to speak about why he loves the company so much.
The culture that you have going here is really like no other. The company, I'm sure you all know this, but it is a role model for how business can address some of the biggest issues facing our world.
Come on, man. How much did Walmart pay you to say this crap? Are you really that starved for work right now, bro? But you know what? I actually agree with you, Tom. The culture Walmart creates is like no other. In fact, it's created the blueprint for the global race to the bottom by chasing the highest profits for the lowest wages. Walmart's also been described as an economic Death Star, destroying everything in its path, leaving behind nothing more than a homogeneous wasteland. And although the corporation promises jobs by investing in local communities, instead it decimates small businesses. And Tom, the only role model Walmart serves as is for other monopolistic, vulturistic corporate conglomerates to eat up everything in their paths, throwing their employees under the bus, and also not giving a damn about the public good. So what other glowing compliments did Tom Cruise have to say about the mega giant?
It's using its size and scale to improve women's lives across the world. Walmart is committed to helping people eat better.
Using its size and scale to improve the world, huh? All right, let's talk about its sheer size. The company operates under 55 different names worldwide. Its $447 billion revenue makes it the 23rd largest economy in the world. Guys, that's bigger than the country of Sweden. So let's address how Walmart's massive reach helps improve world businesses and women's lives. Oh, wait, it doesn't. In fact, it does the exact opposite. Right now, the company is embroiled in the largest sex discrimination lawsuit.
Can I just say, everybody please listen to her voice and listen to her tone. And then when we play Lee Camp, listen to her voice. It's completely different.
I could never date her, only for the fact that if we ever got into an argument, she would use these tones against you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that whole, like, ooh, country.
And she's way smarter than you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm retarded. So, yeah, no, it's terrible, dude. Terrible, but she's so hot.
Is it bad that I'm rubbing myself a little bit when she talks?
You too.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when we're all on air at the moment. You should not be touching her.
Abby Martin.
Well, you guys can't see her. She's got this, like, super hot skirt on and stuff. She's the best.
She's super hot. Yeah, she knows everything about fashion. She's just hot. Oh,
I've
she's
Googled
smart.
some pictures. She is impressive.
I've even Googled the ones where they cut her head off and put it on a nude body just so I can like pretend that it's her. I can't. They're mine. They're mine, and you'll leave my girl alone.
Oh no! You're married.
Let me ask you, Vito. Have you jerked off while watching Abby Martin?
Yes. The minute she talks about bombs in Baghdad, I come right in my own face.
Okay. I just was curious.
No, I actually don't. You know what, man? I'm so jaded when it comes to beating off because I watch nonstop porn to do that I literally can't like beat off to non-fucking. I just can't. Like, you can be hot, but I can't beat off to that. Gotcha.
Yeah, and I need like weird fucking now because from all the weird shit I've seen on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smartphones will be the end of this world.
They already are.
They are the greatest. They are the greatest tool to watch porn ever.
That's why you don't want to touch anybody's phone or iPad because you know what's on that fucking thing.
Right. Like Russell Brand says, I can't be on the internet for more than a minute and not start jerking off.
Yeah,
like,
it's full of liquid babies everywhere.
Ever filed. Take a look.
Let's go back to
Christine is one of the lead plaintiffs in the case against Walmart, and she's accusing the company of discriminating against her and against perhaps as many as 1.5 million other women, former and current employees.
Yep, you heard that right, up to 1.5 million women. So, how else is Walmart destroying the planet? Well, let's take a look back at the devastating building collapse in Bangladesh that just killed 1,129 human beings. See, Walmart is the second biggest garment producer in the country. The company has been there for nearly a quarter century, yet has done nothing to protect its Bangladeshi workers. But to make matters worse, Walmart's also one of the only companies that has refused to sign an international workers' safety agreement that would ensure proper safety standards for its sweatshops. What a good role model indeed. But you know what? I understand. They don't want to lose that couple of pennies on every garment. Because heaven forbid Mike Duke, Walmart's CEO, would have to shave a couple bucks off his $20 million a year salary. A far cry from the $8.81 that the average Walmart employee makes. And if that's not bad enough, the extraordinarily low wages paid to Walmart workers costs taxpayers, you and I, money. Yep, according to a study released by congressional Democrats, Walmart has more workers enrolled in public programs like Medicaid and food stamps than any other employer. This costs taxpayers between $900,000 and $1.7 million per store. So let's do a quick recap. Sweatshops, slave labor, sex discrimination, and looting. Oh wait, I forgot one. According to the Washington Examiner, Walmart has also pled guilty to improperly dumping pesticides into public sewers and landfills. But you better not complain about any of this, because Walmart's notorious for union crushing and suppressing workers from organizing. All of this is why you're seeing an unprecedented strike movement grow throughout the supply chain, with employees nationwide now planning massive walkouts on Black Friday, the company's biggest sales day of the year. Look, don't let yourself be taken by Hollywood stars and catchy Walmart slogans, because now you know what's really going on behind the scenes. So the next time you want to go to Walmart to save a quick buck, ask yourself what you're really saving and who is really losing.
Boom. Abby motherfucking Martin in the house.
I feel like a jerk because I went to Walmart today.
Oh, you're off the show.
I'm a little upset she didn't get up off the chair this time, and she always cuts that last little final promo.
I know, walks at the camera.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the videos.
Maybe her puss was moist and she didn't want to move.
She was thinking about me.
Yeah. Ben?
I guess my... Oh, you got me mid-cough there. I guess my
Fuck.
Dry oatmeal.
I guess my problem is that where I live, Walmart is the only place to get anything.
Hey, if you don't mind sweatshops and fucking kids making your shit, man, go knock yourself out.
And the bigger problem is that we are getting a super Walmart, which is like the greatest thing to ever happen to this area.
Yeah, more kids will die, and you'll get cheaper milk. Way to go, Ben. You won.
I know. I understand that I'm an asshole for shopping there, but I'm not driving an hour and a half to a store to get what I could get literally 30 seconds away.
Hey, you know what? Do two things for me. One, do three things for me. Go to the canned goods section and drop some of the cans on the ground so you dent them, so they got to take them off the shelves. Two, steal something. Anything, for that matter. Just steal something.
Oh, I steal shit all the time, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, tip the cashier on the way out. See if she takes it.
At Walmart?
You have to. You owe them that.
I could do that.
If you're,
I'd be happy to do that, actually.
Try that. At least then you can say, look, I'm helping the mom who makes $8 an hour. I don't know if you guys realize or not, but Sam Walton, the owner of Walmart, he had this thing called mom hours, and he was really big on mom hours. And basically what that means is from when the school bus picks up your kid, a half hour later, you come to work. Then when your kid gets off of school, you get a half hour before that to leave. And they worked everybody's schedule around mom hours. Then he died, and 2 weeks later, his son blew that program right out the window, and they fired a bunch of moms that couldn't work their normal hours.
Yeah, they sound like evil fucking pricks.
Scumbags.
South Park has a great Walmart episode, too, where the Walmart comes into town and takes over everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, Grass Valley, California, Drake Younger now lives around that area. Grass Valley does not allow big business in. Nothing is big business. Every single shop in town is mom and pop. Everything. There's no restaurants. There's no anything that's a chain of any kind. The town doesn't let it in. I think that's pretty innovative, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. It's not something you could do on a large scale, certainly, but I wish something like that was possible here in middle of fucking nowhere, West Texas.
Yeah, no, they still think fracking's cool, so that's not happening anytime soon. Fuck those motherfuckers. They ain't from our world.
They certainly do hate
They're
that.
in a world of
and
shit.
it's so funny because they are they're on a different economy than the rest of the world. The economy has never been a problem to these people. They don't understand how people other places are struggling.
You know what is a problem for people in Texas, Ben?
They live in Texas?
4th grade. And we're going to break. We'll be right back.
This break's brought to you by Vito Tomaselli.
I do too. I love Bill Cosby's show. I've been a big fan of Bill Cosby all my life. Never met the man before, but he called me up about a year ago and chastised me on the phone for being too dirty on stage. And it was real weird because I had never met him, and he just thought he should call me up because he was Bill and tell me that he did about what comedy is all about. And I sat and listened to this man chastise me. And when Bill Cosby chastises you, you forget you grown. You feel like one of the Cosby kids and shit. And I ran in the house all excited to talk to Bill and picked up the telephone, and Bill got raw on me. I was like, "Hello, Mr. Cosby?" And you hear, "I would like to talk to you about some of the things that you do in your show." Now, I'm going to tell you a story. He always tells you stories. I would like to tell you a story. I have 5 children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. I live in Massachusetts with my wife, Camille, and my 5 children. Now, of the 5 children that we have, there are 4 girls and a boy. The boy's name is Innes. He loves everything you do. Comes home from school the other day with a big smile on his face, and my son looks just like me. He walks through the door looking at me with this big smile, and I cannot resist. Because it's such a beautiful smile, and he walks up and I say, what are you smiling about? Aww. And the child says to me, I'm smiling because I need money to go see the Eddie Murphy show. Please give me money for a ticket. Now, if the child is smiling this way because he needs money for a ticket, I have to give him money for a ticket. I do not handle the money in the house. My wife, Camille, handles the ticket money. So I must go into the kitchen to where my wife is cooking dinner for the family. And she is inside the kitchen cooking. And she's got a bowl, and she's cooking up the food, man. She's cooking it up. And the child walks in the room with the smile. He says, Mother, please, money. She gives him the money. He runs off to see your show. Now, we sit in the living room waiting for Innes to return. At about 5 o'clock in the morning, the child comes through the door. He has a different look on his face. It looked like he heard something at your show that he's never heard before. And I say to my child, I say, child, I say, what did the man say on the stage? And he says, Pop, the man comes out and says these things. I said, well, what did he say? He says, Pop, he comes out and says some stuff. I said, well, what did he do? He says, Pop, he walks out and he goes, hello, suck this and MF and kiss my big black stuff and suck it and stick it down your mouth and suck it, suck it. You cannot say filth, flarn, filth in front of people. And I said, I never said no filth, flarn, filth. He says, you know what I'm talking about. I can't use the type of language that you use, but you know what I mean when I say filth, flarn, filth. And I said, I never said no filth, flarn, filth, and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm offended that you called. Fuck you. And that's when Bill got pissed and said, that's what I'm talking about. You cannot say fuck in front of people. And I got mad because he thought that was my whole act. Like I just walked out on the stage and cursed and left. And I managed to stick in some jokes between the curses. You couldn't give no curse show or walk out and say, hey, felt for him, motherfucker, dick, pussy, snot, and shit. Good night. Good night. Suck my dick. Bye-bye. I was pissed off. I was so mad, I called Richard Pryor's house up and said, yo, Richard, Bill Cosby just called me up and told me I was too dirty. And Richard said, the next time motherfucker call, tell him I said, suck my dick. I don't give a fuck. Whatever the fuck make the people laugh, say that shit. He said, do the people laugh when you say what you say? I said, yes. He said, do you get paid? I said, yes. He said, well, tell Bill I said have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. Jello pudding eating.
Life by Marshall Mathers. What is life? Life is like a big obstacle in front of your optical to slow you down. And every time you think you've gotten past it, it's gonna come back around to tackle you to the damn ground. What are friends? Friends are people that you think are your friends, but they really your enemies with secret identities and disguises to hide their true colors. So just when you think you're close enough to be brothers, they wanna come back and cut your throat when you ain't looking. What is money? Money is what makes a man act funny. Money is the root of all evil. Money will make them same friends come back around, swearing that they was always down. But it's life. I'm tired of life. I'm tired of backstabbing ass snakes with friendly grins. I'm tired of committing so many sins. Tired of always giving in when this bottle of Henny wins. Tired of never having any ends. Tired of having skinny friends hooked on crack and mini thins. I'm I'm tired of this DJ playing your shit when he spins. Tired of not having a deal. Tired of having to deal with the bullshit without rapping the steel. Tired of drowning in my sorrow. Tired of having to borrow a dollar for gas to start my Monte Carlo. I'm tired of motherfuckers spraying shit and darting off. I'm tired of jobs starting off at $5.50 an hour. Then this boss wonders why I'm smarting off. Tired of being fired every time I fart and cough. Tired of having to work as a gas station clerk for this jerk breathing down my neck, driving me berserk. I'm tired of using plastic silverware. Tired of working in Building Square. Tired of not being a millionaire. But if I had $1 million, I'd buy a damn brewery and turn the planet into alcoholics. If I had a magic wand, I'd make the world suck my dick without a condom on while I'm on a John. If I had $1 million, it wouldn't be enough, cause I'd still be out robbing armored trucks. If I had one wish, I would ask for a big enough ass for the whole world to kiss. I'm tired of being white trash, broke and always poor. Tired of taking pop bottles back to the party store. Tired of not having a phone. Tired of not having a home to have one in if I did have one on. Tired of not driving a BM. Tired of not working at GM. Tired of wanting to be him. Tired of not sleeping without a Tylenol PM. Tired of not performing in the Pack Coliseum. Tired of not being on tour. Tired of fucking the same blonde whore after work in the back of a contour. Tired of making knots with a stack of ones. Having a lack of funds and resorting back to guns. Tired of being stared at. Tired of wearing the same damn Nike Air hat. Tired of stepping in clubs wearing the same pair of lugs. Tired of people saying they're tired of hearing me rap about drugs. Tired of other rappers who ain't bringing half the skill as me, saying they wasn't feeling me on nobody's as ill as me. And I'm tired of radio stations telling fibs. Tired of J.O.B. saying where hip-hop lives. But if I had $1 million, I'd buy a damn brewery and turn the planet into alcoholics. If I had a magic wand, I'd make the world suck my dick without a condom on while I'm on the John. If I had $1 million, it wouldn't be enough, cause I'd still be out robbing armored trucks. If I had one wish, I would ask for a big enough ass for the whole world to kiss. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of all of this bullshit. Telling me to be positive. I'm supposed to be positive when I don't see shit positive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to In the Rotation. We got that one right this time?
You're good, homie.
All right, excellent. We may have figured out whatever the problem is, but now you are listening to episode 48, Happy to Be Dumb. We are live on Spreaker.com. You can listen to us every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We go head-to-head with Vince and the boys over at Raw, putting on a much more entertaining show. I can't possibly think that they are outdoing us. We had a very fun first hour, but we will be going on here to the second hour. And before we get there, we want to do shout-out to our sponsors. Our sponsors, of course, Two Fat Guys Barbecue Sauce. I love twofatguys.com. Go so Vito Tomaselli's 80-20
God damn it, Ben.
I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I paused before I got it wrong. It's the 80-20 finishing school. And I even moved you up in the lineup. Now you're hitting second.
God damn it.
I still got it out there.
I know.
Vito Tomaselli's 80-20 finishing school, ladies and gentlemen.
We need like a you fucked up chant, like an ECW you fucked up roar or something.
What is the class up to? We were at what? 4 paid last time?
I have 5 paid right now, so I've basically capped it off and stopped it, and anybody else can go fuck themselves. I'm going to do it with 5 guys. I think 5's a better number anyway, and it's going to be myself and Martine Jones, Ace Martino, if you will. And
so I don't need to plug it anymore. Is what
no, plug it because I still want people to hear about it, and I want them to sign up for future classes, if you will.
All right. Well, what I want you to do is go to deathgripclothing.com for all your T-shirt, hat, and hoodie needs. So we'll trade. All right. You go to Death Grip Clothing, and I'll plug your fucking finishing school, all right?
I did.
And last but not least, please go like our friends over at Trash Bag Wrestlers on Facebook, and then the YouTube channel, World Famous Flea Market. We have joined forces with them, the Holy Trinity, if you will.
No, the Trilateral Commission.
Whatever. You have your name, I have mine.
Sure.
But yeah, we have joined forces with them to give you video, audio, and visual pictures of why the indies suck in the United States of America. We are still working on getting some guests from those guys, but things have kind of calmed down in that world. But we're going to get to them. But I know, Vito, you always get random voicemails from different people. Usually it's Johnny Armani giving you some long-winded, crazy voicemail. But this time, it's actually an old friend of the show, back to the Blog Talk days. Fill us in on who you heard from this week.
Well, I talked to Donovan Morgan, the guy that trained me. And whenever I get a message from him, or usually whenever he calls me, it's always just a shit on something, and it's always really funny because he's got a very stale sense of how he explains stuff, but he's always being insanely sarcastic about stuff. So he calls me, whatever it was, last Friday, and he goes, "All right," he goes, "I can't believe I got to ask you this." He's like, and I'm sure you're going to say no. He's like, "But I got to get this out." He goes, "So Mike Modest is a fucking loser these days, just a fucking complete loser." And yeah, and like Donovan just kind of entertains him, but doesn't really talk to him. And Mike doesn't really talk to him either because what are you going to say to a guy that's making almost $300,000 a year and you're making nothing, and yet you want to tell everybody you're really important? But Donovan will call you on your bullshit that you're not important. You know, he'll just go, I don't believe that story. And he's the best too. Like I explained on before, like if he's not like cutting you off to tell you something, or he's not like asking you follow-up questions, he's letting you bury yourself. And then he does, this is the best. So you'll finish your story and he'll go, "Great, well, I got to go right now. My wife's calling me on the other line." Like, you'll tell like a 3-minute long story, and he will, "Okay, great, well, I got to go. I'll call you later." Like, you get nothing. And that's when you're like, oh, that story was a complete waste of fucking time. That's him. So Mike calls him up. I guess Tony Jones. If you guys know Tony Jones, he does a little side suplexes and a little bit of amateur. That's what he says when you go to put a match together with him. "What do you want to do tonight, baby?" "I don't know, Tony. What do you want to do?" "I don't know, maybe that amateur, a little side suplex." That's exactly how he says it, right? So it's kind of it's an inside joke to anybody that knows Tony Jones. And sad news, his little daughter got cancer. She's 12 years old, which is a fucking terrible thing. So he calls Modest. You know, I don't really know I don't know if he's just talking to him or what it was. But Mike comes up with this grandioso idea that he's going to get a hold of CM Punk, who's her favorite wrestler. And maybe Punk can Skype with her, right, to make her feel better. Now, if someone's calling me who has cancer and I have a wrestling promotion, the first thing I'm thinking is maybe I'll do a benefit show so I can get your little girl some money, not a phone conversation with somebody else. And ultimately what Donovan and I made up is that he ultimately just wants to get in contact with
CM Punk.
With Punk. Yeah, he just wants to be a mark. So Donovan calls me and he goes, "Do you have Ace Steele's phone number?" Because Mike wants to get in touch with him. So I started explaining, and maybe other people on the show can explain this further, that there's no fucking way ever that he's going to do this. Ever. It's just not going to happen. And it's a waste of everybody's fucking time. So now Donovan has been hitting me up with multiple text messages and multiple phone calls of different ways that he needs to get help with his sore ankle, his bad back. His neighbor has syphilis, and he wonders if I can get a hold of La Parca, who can get a hold of this guy. And so now it's turned into this ridiculously long, "Hey, can you get a hold of this guy to get a hold of that guy to see if he can get a hold of this guy to see if he can get a hold of that guy?" Well, he left me a voice message that I just think is fucking hilarious. And I want to play it, and it's in the same line of he needs help because somebody's sick. So, yeah, please stand by.
"So, I need some help. My next door neighbor broke his ankle, so I was thinking that one of the Insane Clown Posse guys who knows Kevin Nash from WCW, and Kevin Nash knows Ted Turner, who knows Hulk Hogan. So I was thinking if you have that number to the Insane Clown Posse, I can call them, start there, and then at the end of it all, we'll be doing a Skype message with Hulk Hogan. Anyways, give me a call with that number. Talk to you soon."
And I'm not kidding when I say I have over 100 text messages.
Wait, that's not a work?
Oh no, it's 100% work, but not, it's like he said, "Can you get a hold of El Dandy to get a hold of Mil Mascaras to possibly get a hold of the owner of AAA? Then maybe we can get a hold of Conan because he goes, I have a Mexican neighbor that really likes Conan." It's just shenanigans, and I'm not kidding. It's turned into like this ridiculous thing that him and I go back and forth and do now, and it's literally brought hours of entertainment to us in just a few days. Brandon, thoughts?
I'm the biggest Donovan mark on the planet. I mean, even back when you first met him, I was like, oh my god, that's Donovan. So That's pure gold right there for me.
It's radio gold because I wish we could get more Donovan Morgan messages on the air because I know he won't come on the show because he thinks it's stupid.
Yeah.
But I wish we could. The more Donovan Morgan that is on this show, the better this show is.
And also, you would think, doesn't Mike Modest have a radio show? Didn't he say he had like the #1 show?
Yeah, and that's why I can't tell Donovan about this show because we've goofed on Mike so much about having a show that I can't tell him that I'm doing this show. So
it's the secret you're holding from Donovan that you do this show every Monday night.
Yes, exactly. I just kind of keep it to myself, I do have another one. I think I have one more voice message. You want to play it? Well, we're just two for. You want to play it 2 for Tuesday? Now there might be something bad he says in this because I can't really read the writing because he talks so fast. So maybe he doesn't say something stupid. I hope he doesn't. Stand by.
Hey, I've got bad news. Josh Wonderkeen. Anyway, Mayan's blowing him right now. Bad news. Sorry, man. Looks like we're not going to get that phone call over to Mike Modest. Talk to you later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry. That was the one that I sent to him. I said, can you get a hold of Das Wonder Kid Alex Wright, who was one time the television champion? Have him get a hold of Reggie Parks, the guy that made the belt. Maybe then you can get a hold of Mike Modest through the guy that knows Reggie Parks and get me the number for Mike, because Mike was at a Jack Shack. At a strip club. I said, then maybe you can get the guy at the Jack Shack. Mike can talk to him and get a Skype message so I can see a guy come in his own face. I go, if you could do that for me, that would be great.
He didn't come through on that?
Well, the message was he's trying really hard, but he doesn't think he can get it done. So.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no. More Donovan Morgan. Tell him to start calling your phone more often.
I will. I'll just ignore his calls when he calls so that he leaves a voice message, and then we at least have some radio gold to do on the show.
Yeah. Hey, last week, guys, we talked about Edward Snowden on the show. It was kind of a breaking story last week when we were talking about it. We talked about it. He had left Hong Kong or had checked out of his hotel in Hong Kong and kind of disappeared. And what I wanted to do is play there's a 4-minute clip here from RT News talking about the latest that's happened here. And he has had another interview that he did on the internet. So let's take a listen to RT News and we'll react afterwards.
Disclosing documents proving surveillance at London's G20 isn't the only thing, of course, that's put Edward Snowden in the spotlight today. The whistleblower has, in fact, just been taking part in an online Q&A session hosted by The Guardian newspaper in Britain. RT's Sarah Firth's been listening into that. Hi, Sarah. Any more revelations come out then?
Well, you just dragged me away from Twitter because whilst that question and answer session's just finished, of course, the debate around those answers still raging. A hugely fascinating insight and a very fitting forum, I think, for the whistleblower who is behind the biggest leak in NSA history, Edward Snowden, taking part in that question and answer session. And the biggest question on everyone's lips was why Hong Kong? That's where he travelled to shortly before these surveillance, this information had.
I think there's something playing in the background. Is that just me? I'm hearing like a conversation in the background.
Yeah, it's almost like the guys didn't turn their mics down while they were talking to her.
Is anybody else hearing that? Like there's like somebody talking behind them. No,
I'm not hearing
it. I heard it.
Okay, yeah. I was just curious. I didn't know if there was something else opened up, so I guess not. Because when you stopped, it stopped. So go ahead and just play it. Sorry.
And that's what everyone wanted to know. These had revealed that US agencies had, systematically been gathering these vast amounts of phone and web data. So this was amongst the first questions that were addressed. And the answer that Edward Snowden gave was that the US government, just as they did with other whistleblowers, immediately and predictably destroyed any possibility of a fair trial at home, openly declaring me guilty of treason. That's not justice. And he went on to explain that the NSA employees had to declare foreign travel 30 days in advance and are monitored. So he needed to travel to a country with the cultural and legal framework, he said, to allow him to work without being immediately detained. And Hong Kong had provided that. But as we said, a huge response. There were a huge number of questions asked in this public setting where people were offered to ask him anything. And indeed, he gave us as many answers as he was allowed in that time.
And that meeting, that Q&A, it wasn't in Vision, was it? It was just a sound Q&A, I gather, just finished now. Of course, the world, a lot of countries in the world, furious with America. America's furious at him. What's his response? Did he say any more about why he's done all this?
Well, absolutely. That really got addressed during this question and answer session, I think. big part of the purpose was to hear his viewpoint. Of course, this is what everyone has been waiting for since those big revelations and that big leak. And he addressed very directly the question that a lot of people have put to him about the US government's response, that he's a traitor, also that he might have possibly handed over classified US information to the Chinese government. And he was pushed on that point. He gave a flat no, saying that he hadn't handed over that information and that he works with journalists. He'd also talked about his disillusionment with the Obama administration and the government, calling it a predictable smear that he'd anticipated before going public. Now, it has to be said, there were a huge number of answers there. There's a huge amount of information given. Of course, everyone's going to be combing through that now, as indeed we are, to really get to the bottom of what was said, because, of course, this is really a huge fascination for people. It was an absolutely massive leak, and he gave his response to what the media response is being, saying that initially he was very encouraged, but unfortunately the mainstream media now seems far more interested in what I said when I was 17 or what my girlfriend looks like, rather than say the largest program of suspicionless surveillance in human history. And in another answer, he'd said, the truth will out. So certainly a very stark warning there from Edward Snowden, maybe a sign of things to come, because, of course, there's a huge amount of information that we still don't know, as all that information that he gathered during his time working for the NSA is combed through, and he made that clear in the question and answer session too. He wants to do this properly. So a fascinating debate, one that's ongoing, and of course we tell our viewers, please do join in and get in touch with their thoughts to us on our Twitter accounts.
Absolutely. As the twists and turns continue to unfold. Sarah Firth in London, thank you very much.
Yeah, that was on their end, by the way, guys. They were playing video in the background, and they didn't cut the audio on the video that they were playing in the background, so it was underneath her. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff coming out about him. And what I want to play for you now is another a different perspective. You hear the perspective of just giving the news of the situation, right?
Can we talk about what they said for a second, or is this going to tie in?
Ahead, yeah.
You know, I think it's so true, and this is when I call bullshit on conspiracy theories, is when the news doesn't cover the story. They try to discredit the guy about like what he said would happen when he was 17 years old, or what his girlfriend looks like. Like, how about we talk about what he's talking about? Let's talk about surveillance. What do you guys think about that? I mean, it's bullshit. Joe, what's your thoughts, Joe?
I mean, it's Big Brother, and it's them assuming that people are guilty before they even do anything, or listening to conversations, and people that come out against him will say, well, if you don't have anything to hide, you don't have anything to worry about. But the fact is, fuck you, don't listen to my phone conversations. I'm innocent until proven guilty, and that's the law of the land.
Yeah, how about you, Brooks?
This guy had to know that what was going to happen to him, both credibility-wise and on the news and stuff like that. So he's a hero. Yep. The same with Bradley Manning. Bradley Manning is being charged with delivering information to the enemy. Well, that was us. You delivered information to us than what our government, what our military is being ordered and told to do over in a foreign country. And the people there that get pissed off about these scenarios, they don't get pissed off at the person that committed the act or one person. They get pissed off at a country. So, in a way, he is absolutely a hero. Actually a lot of ways. But just, the news media, of course. I mean, come on. I mean, they're probably recording this conversation right now, whether or not somebody's listening to it or not.
It's not promising. Yeah, they are. It's being everything that goes through any airwaves is being categorized and turned into a file. So
yeah, and I don't think enough people realize just how big the extent of it is, because they're not covering that.
And here's the thing: there's not a phone conversation of a guy saying he's going to kill his wife and then kills her. I wouldn't be so bummed about this if it didn't expose those kinds of things. But it's not happening. It's not.
The worst part is everyone's discrediting this guy, saying he's a high school dropout, and he's this, he's that.
Yeah, good. But what about what he's talking about?
Meanwhile, he had mono.
Yeah.
That's why he had to drop out of school.
Well, here's the deal. Why don't we look at why is there a high school dropout that's in the NSA? How about we talk about that? That's a news story.
Yeah, they didn't have a problem hiring and paying a guy $200,000 a year. And I don't know. I don't know if you remember, but there were commercials on the radio about a year or so ago, up to 2 years ago, about coming to work for the NSA, specifically mentioning the NSA. And I'll guarantee this is one of those jobs. Just you're waiting for whatever program they're using, Prism, to flag a keyword or a phrase or a syllable, and they're just going to wait for an alert on their PC to pop up. And that's when the human element gets involved. So they're, 200,000, that's nothing in a year for these people to be paid for their silence and their obedience.
The worst part is there's people in the media today that say, let them listen to us. Like Howard Stern, for example, he says, I don't care. I have nothing to hide. I don't care if they listen to my phone calls. They're looking for terrorists.
I think we actually have the clip here. This is Howard talking today about it.
The guy who leaked that the NSA was spying on everyone's still trying to determine if he's a hero or a traitor. But at least his dad
is
a
traitor.
In his corner.
He was hired to keep secrets, and he didn't. And that's what they do at the NSA. Of course they fucking spy. They're spying on us to find terrorists. That's the premise. Do they use it for other things? Of course they do. They're human. So what? You know what?
So that's wrong.
Clean up your fucking act, and don't have so many secrets. What's your secret?
Here's Mike Rogers, Edward Snowden's...
And that dude just screwed up his whole life. He had a hot girlfriend. He had everything going for him. Did you see that girlfriend? Holy moly.
Here's Representative Mike Rogers says he felt like he had to set the record straight about some aspects of his son's past. 118.
Like a whistleblower. I would never be a whistleblower.
Whistleblowers are good, Howard.
No, not this guy.
Yes.
I'm all for secrecy and spying on people. I like it.
Every place you read is high school dropout, high school dropout, high school dropout. The fact is that Ed had an illness at the beginning of his sophomore year when his mother and I were going through a divorce. They believed that it was mono. I believe it was diagnosed as mono, but he missed approximately 4 or 5 months of school, so he was going to fall behind. And he asked if he could try to test into a program at the local community college. And there was some disagreement on whether he should do that. The bottom line is he did.
Hey, can I say something?
What?
I think it's the first time in our nation's history that a guy with a really super hot girlfriend became a whistleblower. Think about history. It's always guys with ugly girlfriends and have nothing going on. Guys with either no girlfriend or a really ugly girlfriend. You never see a whistleblower with a good-looking girl. So this is a first in our history. You know?
Yeah, see, that's just it.
Guy
See,
who has
that's
no
typical
action.
Howard Stern, you know what I mean? Like, he's totally, like, just worried about the hot girlfriend and not actually worrying about what he's saying.
And I mean, how crazy is it? They're listening for terrorists. Stop that nonsense. They're listening for... They're trying to find the number 2 guy, I believe. It's fucking nonsense. The whole Taliban, all that shit is nonsense at this point. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, it's like, okay, we're in Dante's hell, all right?
Yeah.
And there's the 7 levels of hell. And we're sitting in the 7th one because we can see through all the layers and the various aspects of the web that we always talk about. Because we're so far into the rabbit hole. For people who can't handle this or are just finding out about this, or for people who too much information right away is like beating on their hand with a hammer. Those are the ones that I think everybody would have to worry about, because we're so excited and we're so far into this that we just want to, and we bludgeon sometimes people. So I think we have to understand, like, when we start talking about these massive conspiracies that where the multinational corporations, literally there's probably 5 or 6 of them that literally own everything. The message is spun from the top down in every media organization that you could cry as major. And it branches into defense, it branches into food, and some people just can't get this. And when these opportunities arise, I think it's important to keep this in mind, that we're jumping on this thing and we realize the gravity of this scenario. But your average mom and pop who watched the buildings come down on 9/11 didn't ask any questions, or didn't say boo with Guantanamo Bay. They're the ones that, like, when these events occur, I think need to be nurtured, as opposed to like beaten. Like, what are you, fucking dumb? They need to be like, no, here's the scenario. I know this is crazy. I know it's crazy. Trust me, I know it's crazy. But if you need some reinforcement on this particular idea, go look at this source and this source. Just start citing sources, and not in a oh, you're an idiot. You haven't read up on it. You haven't read what I read. Blah blah blah. Because this person could be like an expert knitter and can knit a sweater. Then you'd be like, if there's somebody put a gun to your head, like this one person could save your life. But she might not be ready to handle the entire depth, the entire Dante's Inferno of what we talk about, what we pass as general conversation on this show. So I think it's important to kind of keep that perspective in mind too, that there are people that might be tuning in and being like, wait, Builder what? Bohemian what?
I always say ask open-ended questions. Don't tell them what's going on. Just ask them questions and have them not explain shit to you. And then what they'll do when they go home the next day, much like we do on this show, we start researching because we don't want to sound dumb the next time that question comes up. And that's what kind of gets people to trail down that rabbit hole, like you said. But there's still some people, man, like my mom. I'll send her articles all the time about how Obama is just fucking awful. And she'll say, I just like him. I like how he talks. Okay, right. But what about this? Well, it doesn't really bother me. Oh, it doesn't? Why not? It just doesn't. I like how he talks. Okay, good. Well,
on this show, we talk about a guy like Edward Snowden, and we call him a hero. On the national news, on the CBS News, Bob Schaefer is a old, long-time broadcaster for CBS News, and he does a commentary every Sunday for their news program, and he actually talks about Edward Snowden. And this is the message that is going out from the mainstream media, if you will. Check it out.
Willing to stand up to the government. As a reporter, it's my job to do that from time to time. Some of the people I admire most in the government who led the civil rights movement, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., they are true heroes. I'm not ready to put Edward Snowden in that category. For one thing, I don't remember Martin Luther King Jr. or Rosa Parks running off and hiding in China. The people who led the civil rights movement were willing to break the law and suffer the consequences. That's a little different than putting the nation's security at risk and running away. I know 11 people who died or lost a member of their family on 9/11. My younger daughter lived in Manhattan then. It was 6 hours before we knew she was safe. I'm not interested in going through that again. I don't know yet if the government has overreached since 9/11 to reinforce our defenses, and we need to find out. What I do know is put in place and are being overseen by officials we elected, and we should hold them accountable. I think what we have in Edward Snowden is just a narcissistic young man who has decided he is smarter than the rest of us. I don't know what he is beyond that, but he is no hero. If he has a valid point, and I'm not even sure he does, he would greatly help his cause by voluntarily coming home to face the consequences. Back in a minute.
How? Let me ask you a question. How in the world is he putting our nation's defense at risk by saying what he said?
Yeah, exactly, because he's come out and said that he was very careful in what he actually put out there. And it wasn't anything that would put our national defense, our national safety at risk.
Right.
He was very particular about it.
That's why this guy's spinning a lie. He's spinning a lie. He's saying that this guy put our nation at risk, and then he tied it to 9/11.
Yep.
So if this guy keeps doing what he's doing, buildings will collapse. Yep. What? How do you tie those two together? Why not tie it to we might not have Christmas next year?
How about the state that you guys live in? Your U.S. representative, Aaron Schock, he had harsh words for the man who blew the whistle on phone record spying on behalf of the National Security Administration. Quote, "I believe this man has committed treason," Schock said at a City Club of Chicago appearance on Monday. So you have your officials saying this guy has committed treason, and the people that just listen to what the news tells them every night at 11 o'clock, that's the message that they're getting about this guy, is that, oh my God, he put us all in danger, and oh my God, he's running away. No, he's running away because he has shit he wants to get out.
He's afraid for his life.
Yeah, but he brought up Martin Luther King and tried to compare him to him. Well, he got shot in the fucking head. So,
on a fucking balcony outside his fucking hotel room.
Right, so maybe he's a little validated to maybe run. Maybe.
It's important to note that this guy does fear for his life. And he's an American. And you hear all of these politicians and news people dropping the word treason. That's different than just saying whistleblower or something. Treason, if I'm correct, is still punishable by the death penalty.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like firing
in
squad
every
kind
state.
of shit.
Yeah, every state's a federal law.
So if people are starting to drum on that beat, then yeah, this guy knew exactly what he was doing when he left the country. And by the way, Iceland, which is one of the coolest little countries there is, offered him amnesty, and they're trying to work out a way to get him over there.
Well, yeah, his argument was... Go ahead, Joe.
I'm betting if Martin Luther King knew he was going to get shot for his belief, he probably would have hit out a little bit better.
Right, if he knew he was going to lose his life by getting shot in the face, he probably would have rethought the way he walked around. Yeah, exactly. I think it's such a shame, and I guess the crux of the argument is, guys, and I know we all fall on the same side of this argument, but the crux of the argument is, what are you willing to give up in order to feel safe? And I think allowing them to have carte blanche to record and store for 5 years or longer anything that we say or do that has nothing to do with security risks, and they're going to release, and the NSA in response, they say, well, we're going to release this list of all these things that we've thwarted, all these terrorist attempts that we've thwarted because of this program. And they're going to try to sell stupid people and conservatives that we need this.
Well, guess what, man? Those fucking 20 or so terrorist attacks that we've stopped, 17 have been admitted on record as being put out there by our government to stop.
But they won't tell you that part of the story.
So what are we talking about here? Let's stop with this fucking nonsense, dude. I'm not kidding, man. There's a revolution happening. Something is going to happen. I mean,
I'm glad you mentioned that word, because right now in Joe's treasured Brazil, there's an estimate.
Joe loves Brazil. I bet he even tells some people, like he's out at a bar, he's sitting down and go, "Where are you from, Brazil?" He just tells them Brazil, right, Joe?
I'm Brazil Joe.
Yeah, I'm Brazil Joe, not Lockport Joe. I'm Brazilian Joe.
That's right.
That's your new name on the show.
He tells me his name is Joe Gracie.
Yeah, Brazilian Joe Gracie in the house. BJG or BJJ or BJG. Wouldn't that be cool if it was BJJ?
People protesting in Rio de Janeiro, but 75,000 were in the streets of Sao Paulo today, protesting against a hike in bus and taxi fares.
Huh. That happens all the time in Chicago.
Right. So what's up? What's going on? I mean, you see all the pictures. Actually, somebody hacked the website for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. They hacked the main page and put up a live webcam of like the police activity that's being recorded down there by several different people.
Part of what's going on is they're pissed off that a lot of this public money is going for the World Cup that's happening in 2014, and that the government cried poor, basically, and that they needed all this public money, and it turns out, or they said it was going to be privately funded, and it's not. Now they need these increases in order to fund the World Cup, while meanwhile people are still going hungry and can't ride the bus. So,
hey, Joe, do me a favor and just unplug your mic and plug it back in. I'm getting like some weird feedback from your microphone.
So there are revolutions occurring, and there are people that have had enough. They just don't happen to be in this country.
You know what we do when we get taxed a little more, or our bus fare goes up, or our gasoline goes up? You know what we do here in the States? We just pay it.
Just take it, yeah.
Okay.
And we pat ourselves on the back for being the freest country in the world.
Yeah,
and,
the best country. Yahoo, America, red, white, and blue. These colors don't run. I know.
Yep, and that's the price you pay, because freedom's not free. Which I've stopped arguing with people that say that, but I still roll my eyes at people that say that.
So Joe, is there anything else from that part of the land, Joe, you know about? As far as the story goes, I want to check your levels.
That's what I just heard. I talked to someone I know who's from Brazil who was familiar with the situation. So
was his last name Gracie?
Say that again.
Was his last name Gracie?
No, but close.
It's close. Yeah. Was it Christian that you were talking to?
Yes.
Yeah. It's close enough.
Brazil's still the Wild West. I mean, it's still the Wild West. I mean, they still have the assault team down there that's the police, and I mean, it goes from extremely rich to the favelas, where it is like dirt fucking poor. So they have a large gap between the upper class and the lower class, really than a middle class down there.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah,
no problem.
Good stuff. Not only our MMA expert, but our Brazil expert.
Of course,
yes.
Brazilian
So
Joe.
the revolutions are occurring, especially now that there's the thing in Turkey is not over with. There's now what they call there's a guy who's been standing in that square for hours and hours just by him. And people are starting to join him. So that's ramping up again. The president has said that he's going to release the army into the scenario now. The thing's still going on in Syria right now. There's a report from I'm not too sure about that one, but there's a report that the city of Aleppo is going to, there's another 80,000 government troops lining up. So these things are still happening. The subconscious of the human spirit, which is really what's at war here, I think, from whoever's trying to subdue it. I think they're at war with the human spirit of just, everybody like fiercely fighting for freedom and dignity and respect, just wanting to live a good life. I think that's what we're fighting over here, and I think those guys, whoever's in charge, and that's what they're after, and that's what they're trying to crush. They're doing a good job of it here, because if you look, all these countries are just a little bit behind, a little bit backwards. They don't have 3 TVs pumping out cable TV and satellite TV in their home like we do here in America. They don't have a water system that was developed and revamped to deliver, fluoride and stuff into our developing brains as kids. They didn't have the apparatus. So some of these I don't want to say backwards, but lesser countries, less fortunate countries still have that fighting spirit. And I'm like, hey, fucker, well, I'm not watching. What the hell is SUV? What is Law and Order? I don't know. I'm gonna go out in the street because I don't want to pay more for my bus.
But to find that even more, I mean, their government's rich, even though they say they're not, and they get funded by programs that we offer, and then the government takes it and they pay themselves the money, and it doesn't trickle down to the middle class. Much like here, it's no different. It really is no different. So.
You talk about taking away your freedoms, Brooks, and how it happens every day. Well, it happened again today here in the United States of America. Are you familiar with the Supreme Court making 2 pretty interesting decisions this week, guys? Actually, today. Have you guys heard
unplugged today.
Yes. Well, the Supreme Court made 2 pretty interesting decisions. First, I'm going to talk about what they did from Arizona. And I want to preface this by saying Arizona might be the most under-the-radar, racist fucking country on the planet. Or racist state, I should say.
If you were asked to give up your dreams for freedom, what would you do if asked to make the ultimate sacrifice? Would you think about all them people who gave up everything they had? Would you think about all them who wanted us? And would you start to feel bad? Freedom isn't free. It costs folks like you and me. And if we don't all chip in, we'll never pay that bill. Freedom isn't free. No, there's a hefty fucking fee. And if you don't grow in your bucko five, who will? What would you do if someone told you to fight for freedom? Would you answer the call or run away like a little pussy? 'Cause the only reason that you're here is 'cause folks died for you in the past. So maybe now it's your turn to die kicking some ass. Freedom isn't free. It costs folks like you and me. And if we don't all chip in, we'll never pay that bill. Freedom isn't free. No, there's a hefty fucking fee. And if you
across the bucko fair.
Yeah.
Bucko fair.
Bucko fair.
Freedom calls a bucko fair.
I figured that was a fitting song for what we're talking about here. Freedom isn't free, guys.
Trey Parker's a genius.
Yeah, he really is. Go on, Ben.
Oh, on?
Yeah, pick up after that.
Yeah, I
Bucko
guess,
fair.
yeah. Now nothing that I'm going to say is going to even be interesting.
Bucko fair.
What, you can't follow that, dude?
Exactly. Maybe a little heads up next time when I'm about to read something. You're just going to play music over me. That would be great.
I thought it was funny.
That'd be awesome. So in the state of Arizona, they actually wanted to enact a law that would demand proof of citizenship from people who were registering to vote in federal elections. And the Supreme Court actually ruled in a decision, actually deemed it illegal. The justices in a 7-2 ruling closes the door on states independently changing the requirements for those using the voter registration form produced under the federal motor voter registration law. They would need permission from a federally created panel, the Election Assistance Commission, or a federal court ruling overturning the commission's decision to make tougher requirements stick. So they can't be extra racist in the state of Arizona. Have you ever? I just didn't realize, and then you think about it more, how horrifically racist the state of Arizona is. They hate brown people there. I mean, we're talking about the state that was the last state to recognize Martin Luther King Day. I mean, if that doesn't say that your state is filled with racist assholes, I don't know what. Then you enact these crazy fucking laws where they got to prove they're a citizen. You can stop anybody if they have brown skin. You can ask them if they're a fucking citizen. They have to be able to fucking prove it. And they in Arizona, they think that immigration is such a fucking problem. But like we say it so many times, these people aren't coming over and doing jobs that anyone in Arizona. White people in Arizona don't want to do the jobs. They're retirees. They're just crotchety old men and women who are fucking racists, that were born racist and bred racist, to hate brown people. And they just wanted to move to Arizona because the weather is nice and they can golf all year round. And they don't want to see the brown people around their golf courses unless they're there to cut the grass. But they don't want them, they don't want to see them at the grocery store.
It lowers their property value, Ben.
Can't be having that.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah. But in an even more, I guess, what's going to affect us more is a decision that they came to regarding the fact that your silence, if you're arrested by the police, your silence, if you say nothing, it can be used against you in a court of law.
Your Fifth Amendment, I believe that's called, isn't it, Ben?
Correct. The Fifth Amendment, Professor Brooks, can you enlighten us into what the Fifth Amendment is?
I'm pretty sure that's the one that you are have the right to silence, of course. To plead the Fifth Amendment is to not incriminate yourself in any capacity.
Correct. It allows you.
Here, let's just pretend for a second, Professor Brooks. We're in court right now, and I'm going to ask you a question. So, Professor Brooks, I have video footage of you fucking that dog. Do you have anything to say?
I'd like to see this footage of me fucking this dog.
God damn it, Brooks! You're supposed to say I plead the Fifth. I plead the Fifth.
I've never fucked a dog, so I'd like to know where you're getting this footage from, son.
Oh, I have the footage. Don't worry about it. You're supposed to plead the Fifth, so we can say that's how you plead the Fifth.
I plead the Fifth.
Okay, well, guess what? The Fifth doesn't matter anymore. You're going to jail forever.
But it's just a dog.
No, the NSA has it. Don't worry. We don't have to show you about it because guess what? The NDAA Act also enacted, so we don't have to tell you why we're actually arresting you. Go to jail. Do not collect go, or do not pass go, and do not collect $200, jobber.
Yeah, I mean, this is all one general, 2 or 3 different ideas about absolutely minimizing what we can and can't do, and how an arresting and prosecuting body could define things differently than what common sense would. And they've just been broken up into different pieces of legislation. It's NDAA. It's the NSA's power to do what they're doing.
The Patriot Act.
The Patriot Act. Like they're all pieces. This is a plan, man. This is a plan. And it's being enacted, right? And a lot of it's like I play a video game. I play EVE Online, where it's all a huge European base of players, and I hear all the time about what they bitch about the United States and Americans in general, and this and that, and half of it, more than half of it, I have no argument or defense in, because I know it's true for the most part. But it's frustrating because I know I'm not one of those types of Americans. Like, I'm out there trying to like let people know, like, hey, the government sucks, man. Stop voting Democrat. Stop voting Republican. Look outside that box that got you sewn into. That those are the only two options out there. It's my biggest thing.
No, as Truth Martini will tell you, I agree 100%.
I agree 100%.
Yes. So basically what happened is, guys, if you've ever been in trouble with the police, and no, we don't here on the show, we don't condone breaking any laws, and you want to keep your mouth shut, you will need to announce you're invoking your Fifth Amendment rights instead of, just keeping your mouth shut. So you actually have to verbally say, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment rights, or if you say nothing, they can use that you said nothing in court to paint it as if you did whatever crime. Your silence will find you guilty. So think about that for a second, guys. They just say, now all these people that don't speak good English, or the people that don't pay attention to what's going on around them, they're going to be abused because they're going to have this used against them because they're not smart enough to even know what the Fifth Amendment is. I bet you most of them know what the second one is. They don't know what the fifth one is. And the problem, and that's going to be a big problem. These inner city kids, they don't know what the Fifth Amendment is.
There is one way. There is one way, Ben. Are you aware of this? Do you watch Sons of Anarchy? Have you seen season 5?
I haven't seen season 5. I'm at the beginning of season 4.
Oh, well, there's one way. One of the guys that's in prison to not talk about what's going on because he didn't want to talk about it, he sticks his tongue out and slams his chin on the table to cut his fucking tongue out because he was handcuffed.
Sure,
so that's an option. It's just an option. I'm not saying do it. It's just an option.
That is disturbing.
Otto's one of the coolest characters in that entire movie, or show, I should say.
Yeah, don't spoil any more for me.
That's not really a spoiler.
Fuck it. Wait till he dies, Ben.
Yeah, fuck it. By the time you watch it, you won't even be ready for it.
Everybody dies.
Everybody fucking dies. Ask Tracy Smothers.
Indeed. Well, I think it's time to hit up our last break, and we'll get to the top of the third hour. We will be back.
We are live. We are live on Rip Radio, by the way. So
we'll be back for a full live hour on Rip Radio in just a few short minutes.
This bridge brought to you by Ben Jordan.
Outside of the hideout location, no activity to report at the present time. Hold on, car 1 to dispatch. We seem to have some activity. Both subjects, T.I. and Lil Wayne, are seen leaving the current location. We'll attempt to tail them.
Put my dick in your face, put my gun in your purse, put my work in your pussy. Bitch, don't come on to work. Pass the weed to your slime. These niggas greener than lime. So many knots in my pockets, them bitches need a massage. I was born in a drought. I hope I die in your mouth. If you a rat, you should have died as a mouse. The weed louder than the opera house. Till the fat lady sing. Drop codeine in my punch. I'm about to take a swing. If niggas thinking I'm soft, I knock your thinking cap off. I get blood out these pussies. I'm a stinking tampon. This for my niggas back home. I'm still New Orleans regardless. Got bitches falling like August. Cause sell bullshit to a Taurus. My bitch is better than me. Call that Adam and Eve. I do tricks on my skateboard, not up my sleeve. I kiss your bitch on the neck, shoot your man in the head, get his mama address and send his parents his head. I play with pussy, not these niggas. Crucify these niggas, kidnap them, call their boss and ask them who gon' buy these niggas. Got Lil Wayne on her ass, Latoche on her titties. To kill me, you gotta die with me, with me, with me, with me, with me, with me. Tell me. We ain't playing, got her on her ass. In the van, got her on her gas. Streets with me, she's with me, he's with me, we ain't playing, got her on her ass. In the van, got her on her gas. Strong with me, gas with me, trying with me. I ain't never been dumb, my nigga, or sucker neither. Go ahead, play around with it. Cash on dick, just be laying around with it. Got a K fuck with us, I be spraying rounds with it. I'm cold. Don't believe me, just ask your bitch. I swear she know her legs up, how she spread eagle, and then took in my big ego. I'm stealthy, attitude to them. Let me tell you a little something about me. I talk shit breath like Muhammad Ali, then whoop a nigga hair like Muhammad Ali. I'm thrown, no catching me. These niggas in the game so sad to me. I'm sure no one would care. We just put them out their misery with no sympathy and no grief. Leave home with no heat. Cause nigga
can talk bullshit on records and see them in public and they never do nothing. You violate our demonstrations, I'ma put niggas up under wherever we want. I got racks in my pocket right next to my llama, some more in my bags, a couple more hundred. Get into my gun, I just spraying wherever. So don't reach for that when you seeing me now. If whoever fuck with me be smoking the city, you ready for war? You got that life really? You catch me in Cali, you catch me in Philly, see me in Miami, them choppers is with me. Don't keep no niggas who be gossiping with me, looking for your bitch when she probably with me. We ain't playing, got 100 rap with me. In the band, got 100 gas with me. Streets with me. She's with me. He's with me. We ain't playing, got 100 rap with me. In the band, got 100 gas with me. Strong with me. Gas with me. Train with me.
Put some money, weed with me. Alright. Before you judge me, I plead guilty. I wish a nigga would, I won't get a splinter. Just bought a chicken, bout to break it down to chicken tenders. Block booming, I'm not human. My drops zooming, my eyes grooming. One giant leap for mankind, I'm high moving. How have you been? Gun ain't on my waist, but it ain't that far away. I'm fucking like some Chardonnay. Here today, gone a day. I pay for pussy, not these niggas. Crucify these niggas. Kidnap them, call they boss and ask them who gon' buy these niggas. Got Lil Wayne on the ass, Lil Tunechi on the titties. To kill me, you gotta die with me.
Hey, wait, man, these niggas ain't true. Holy on the yard, these niggas can't do. These niggas ain't king, these niggas ain't tuned. Got the game locked up, covered every angle. Got the outside, inside, middle lane too. All sold up, nigga, hold up, nigga. Pimps on the loop, put your hoes up, nigga. Handcuff that bitch when we roll up, nigga. We'll hit that bitch from roll up in her head and shoulders of another hoe up in her with the legs hanging out. And she dead, just about it. We roll so loud and we leave at the house. We leave at the house counting hundreds and fifties and go do a show for 250. We sell out arenas and hundreds of city. These niggas want trouble, I'm bringing it with me. We ain't playing, got 100 rap with me. In the band, got 100 gas with me. Streets with me. She's with me. He's with me. I'm with me. We ain't playing, got 100 rap with me. In the band, got 100 gas with me. Strong with me. Gas with me. Train with me.
Alright. They ain't fucking with me. No, they ain't fucking with me. Yo, tip with me. They ain't fucking with us, pimp.
My bad, I didn't mean to scream like that, sorry.
If you can't hear what I'm trying to say, if you can't read from the same page, maybe I'm going deaf, maybe I'm going blind, maybe I'm out of my mind. Okay, now he was close, tried to domesticate you, but you're an animal, baby, it's in your nature. Just let me liberate you. You don't need no papers. That man is not your maker, and that's why I'm like a good girl. I know you want it. I know you want it. I know you want it. You're a good girl. Can't let it get past me. You're far from plastic. Talking about getting blasted. These blurred lines. I know you want it. I know you want it. I know you want it. But you're a good girl. The way you grab me, must wanna get nasty. Go ahead, get at me. Everybody get up. What do we need dreams for? When you got them jeans on. What do we need steam for? You the hottest bitch in this place. I feel so lucky. You wanna hug me? What rhymes with hug me? Okay, now he was close. Tried to domesticate you, but you're an animal. Baby, it's in your nature. Just let me liberate you. You don't need no papers. That man is not your maker, and that's why I'm like a good girl. I know you want it. I know you want it. I know you want it. You're a good girl. Can't let it get past me. You're far from plastic. Talking about getting blasted. Everybody get up. Blurred lines. I know you want it. I know you want it. I know you want it. But you're a good girl. The way you grab me, must wanna get nasty. Go ahead, get it.
One thing you bet that ass too. Go from Malibu to Paribu. Yeah, I can have a big machine bad to you. So hit me up when you pass through. I give you something big enough to tell your ass to. Swag on them even when you dress casual. I mean, it's almost unbearable. In 100 years, not there would I pull up on side, let you pay me back. Nothing like your leg guy, he too square for you. He don't smack that ass and pull your hair for you. So I just watch, hand waiting for you to salute and chew did pimp. Not many women can refuse did pimpin'. I'm a nice guy, but don't get it confused. Shake it up, get down, get up. Do it like it hurt, like it hurt. What you don't like work? Hey, baby, can you breathe? I got this from Jamaica. It always works for me. Dakota to Decatur. No more pretending, cause now you're winning. Here's our beginning. I always wanted a good girl. I know you want it. I know you want it. I know you want it. Good girl. Can't let it get past me. We're far from plastic. Talking about getting blasted.
And we are back live on Spreaker.com every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. And now we are live on the Ripped Radio Network for the last hour and a half of every show, starting at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can hear us live on the Ripped Radio Network. And as I was sitting here, my dog is barking, and my fucking arm fucking thing fell right the fuck off the fucking counter here. So I'm just going to fucking have to hold my mic here for a second as I go through all of our sponsors. Death Grip Clothing. Check them out, deathgripclothing.com. Two Fat Guys Barbecue Sauce. I love twofatguys.com. Vito Tomaselli's 80-20 Finishing School. See, I got it right that time.
Nice.
Yes. Check him out. Hit up Vito Tomaselli on Facebook. What is the Facebook that they can hit you up on?
It's / Vito's World with an S. Vito's World. And I got to say, Ben, that's quite possibly the worst song we've ever played on this fucking show. I usually love your breaks. Worst song I've ever heard in my entire life. And the video, how do you not like Pitbull, but you think that's okay?
Because I thought T.I. was really good in that song, and the beat is catchy, and there's a version of that video where all the chicks are naked instead of clothed. And
Yeah,
it's
but
way better.
shit. Put a porno on. Turn that fucking song off. Worst song ever. Horrible. And it's like metrosexual dancing, like white guy dancing, like they're like kind of moonwalking, kind of gyrating their hips. It's terrible.
It's kind of like saying, "Oh, I like that Rihanna song because she's hot. Oh, I'm gonna watch the video because there's hot."
It's
naked
still a
chicks."
terrible song.
It's still terrible.
I thought you were ribbing me. I was like, is this really a break song? Wow.
I think it's catchy. I think it's a catchy song.
Turn off FM radio, Ben.
You can catch my balls on this one, Ben. It's still terrible.
I got a few things you can catch, like my load.
I'm not going to take fucking music advice or take any shit from anyone that listens to country music, so fuck both of you.
I don't listen to country music. Who told you that?
I'll put them right here on Skype if you want.
Wait.
Is Ben showing Balls Mahoney right now?
I believe he's taking your gimmick of Balls Mahoney.
Yeah, that's my gimmick, and I stole this.
And by the way, I don't like country music at all. I listened to it for like 6 weeks.
I'm talking to you directly on that.
Wow.
I'm not taking shit from fucking Brandon about any musical taste.
I don't even really listen to country music anymore. I listen to talk radio.
Bullshit.
Hey, listen. You and your Robin Thicke can go suck each other's balls. That's
why don't you guys suck your thick cocks?
I like T.I., so but Pitbull's terrible. Pitbull's not an artist. He sucks.
Yeah, if you're gonna listen to anything thick, you should listen to his dad on Family Ties. Other than that, I got no time for him.
I would suggest you go back and listen to T.I. He was really good.
I can't. I listened to it twice. I had to record it twice. I got to the end, and GarageBand didn't take it. I was like, no.
Even GarageBand says,
fucking bastard.
Actually, I enjoy the fact that you hated it even more than you enjoyed it.
It's fucking terrible. It's not that I hated it. Hating is one thing. I'm not saying that was the worst song we've ever played on this show.
We played Christian rock on here before.
During those fucking top, the countdowns, we've played way worse.
No. I'll listen to Christian rock first.
We're playing Echo Motive song and end all debate right now.
No.
Right. There's plenty of shit that we've played on this fucking airwaves.
You know what, guys, though? To tie in the NSA spying and whatnot, I do have Lee Camp with Abby Martin, who is like two of our favorite people on the planet. And I think it's
news regarding Lee Camp. Can we drop that?
Yeah, K5. We can't drop anything until we get an official date. K5. Gotcha. In case you don't already know, you already have somewhat put it away, and we can't wait, and I'm super giddy, so maybe one day. And I want you guys to listen to Abby Martin. You heard it earlier, very straightforward, shooting you in the face, not going to give you any nonsense. And I haven't heard this clip, but I guarantee there's a few him and Hawes where she didn't really hear Lee Camp because she's too busy thinking about the size of his cock. So here it is, Lee Camp and Abby Martin.
So guys, a lot has happened this week. We learned that the NSA has only expanded its authority through data mining and tracking of user information. We finally saw the start of a trial against one of the biggest whistleblowers in history, Private Bradley Manning. And of course, we heard the news that the one and only Michelle Bachmann will not be seeking re-election in Congress. Now, if you've been watching the corporate media, then you've probably seen these stories reported and debated on ad nauseum. For a fresh and comedic perspective on what's going on, I'm joined by my good friend Lee Camp, comedian, activist, creator of the Moment of Clarity viral web series. What is going on, Lee?
Hey, Abby. Sorry I didn't reply to your email, but I accidentally deleted it, but I've asked the NSA to send me their copy.
Lee, speaking of this ridiculous hack story, I mean, first we learned about the AP hack, then the Fox News hack, and now we're learning about this giant NSA program, Verizon, handing over all the user data to the government. Lee, my question is, I guess, why is the media shocked? I mean, hasn't this been going on since the Patriot Act?
Yes, it's been going on since the Patriot Act, but the thing is, we didn't want to talk about it then because there was a really good episode of Dancing with the Tards on, I think. Yeah, no, it's only now that they've just realized that everything is being watched. Every email, every phone record. It's it's definitely gotten to Orwellian proportions.
I keep seeing breaking news. I'm like, wait, this broke 10 years ago. It's just that no one cared because it wasn't happening to them. But Obama calls it just a modest encroachment on privacy, Lee. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes, but it's definitely just modest because, and here's the reason they're not really encroaching, is because they don't know when I'm pressing my junk against the phone. So until they get that technology, I think I'm fine.
Very modest indeed.
His cock. He said cock. I want it in my mouth. Do you hear the giggling going on? When did this happen in any of our other clips? Ever? Anybody?
I've never heard another time she sounds. I was thinking what you guys were thinking, which was I would never want to get in an argument if I was dating that girl, because like, could you imagine the drive home? You know you fucked up and she's waiting for you.
Yeah, and you, like, she yells at you, right? And then it like stops for a minute. You're like, oh, good, she's done. Then she goes, and another thing. She turns back at you and like hits you again.
Like 6 or 7 things, yeah.
Yeah, and it just never fucking stops. You didn't get the milk last week.
You're like, please just shut the fuck
Yeah, please,
up.
listen.
I'm sorry.
You were so hot and now you're so ugly. That's why it's like, you show me a hot girl and I'll show you a guy who's tired of fucking her. That could be Abby Martin.
And of course, this week the Bradley Manning trial started. After 3 years, prosecutors want to convict him under the Espionage Act for aiding the enemy, Lee, because they found WikiLeaks material in Osama bin Laden's compound. But Lee, they also allegedly found a ton of porn. So should we go after the porn industry next for aiding the enemy?
Definitely. We got to go after the porn industry. I heard he had falafel in there. We got to go after the falafel industry. He probably had books of declassified CIA documents. So I think the CIA needs to go after itself. But also beyond that, you have people like Lindy England, who actually perpetrated acts as a soldier and was given 571 days in prison. And now Bradley Manning could go away for his whole life for just telling people about war crimes. So you do it, you get a year or two, but you tell people about it, and that's a whole new level. I mean, America should be so outraged about this, but we can't because we're too busy being outraged about what happened on Pawn Stars or Ice Road Truckers, and so we've used up all of our outrage on America's Got Talent. I can't believe the dog riding the horse lost out to the fire breather. That's where our outrage went.
And Janet Napolitano keeps telling us if you see something, say something. Well, Bradley Manning saw war crimes and he tried to expose them, and now he's facing life in prison. It's a complete insanity. Lee, as we know, today's the second day of Bilderberg, one of the world's elite, most elusive policy summits in the world. No one really knows what's going on behind closed doors. What do you think they're doing in there, Lee?
I'm pretty sure it looks a lot like Grease, the movie. I think it's a lot of snapping and a lot of skipping, because when you're that rich, you do a lot of snapping and skipping.
Really?
You do.
'Cause I thought it was.
But,
I thought it was more like Eyes Wide Shut.
well, there's probably some of that going on, too. But, I mean, you know, I think the problem, Abby, is that you have, like, an overgrown democracy disorder. You think that we should have a say in what goes on in our country and around the world and our country's actions. And I don't know who gave you that feeling, but it's a real problem you have, and I think you need to realize that the plutocrats will make these decisions for you. So don't worry about it.
Is there a pill I can take for that?
Yeah. It's very similar to restless leg syndrome. It's restless democracy disorder.
And also this week, Michelle Bachmann announced that she's going to retire. What's the best and worst thing about that news for you?
Well, it's horrible for comedy, obviously, to lose Michelle Bachmann, but I think it's probably good for God, because I think as a representative, she wasn't doing him much favor. She kept saying the guy upstairs was talking to her and telling her to run for office, and I think the whole time he was like, what? I had nothing to do with this.
I find it odd that someone who was hand-picked to serve on the House Select Committee on Intelligence overseeing the CIA and NSA, kind of the farthest thing from intelligent. Really amazing. I'm glad she's out of there. Lee, you have a new video.
It's like that Congressman Mark Foley who was on the Child Protective Services Committee or whatever it was called, and meanwhile a pedophile.
Oh, yeah, I see this all the time. The most fervent anti-gay people, they're the ones who are foot-tapping in the bathroom. Lee, you have a new video out called How to End Terrorism in a Single Day that involves peeps. Talk about that. How would you end terrorism?
My pussy.
Yeah, not just terrorism, but the whole war on terrorism.
Pussy.
Finish it. All you'd have to do, replace every drone missile with marshmallow peeps. Every single one, all right? This has two effects. I mean, you might have to give them little parachutes so that they don't splat, but every single one. This has two effects, all right? First of all, you're not killing any more innocent civilians, so no more family members of people dying over there, so they're not pissed on that. You know, they're like, oh, my nephew got hit with a peep. Well, who cares? Plus, the terrorists, they lose any recruiting tool, you know? You're not going to get teenagers to line up to strap napalm to their nuts because someone got hit with a adorable Easter candy. So it would solve the whole problem. One thing that would be left is you can't take the money out of it, right? Because if you take away the money from the bomb makers, they get pretty upset. So we'd have to have $1 million peeps. It'd have to be gold-dusted peeps so that Lockheed Martin and Boeing could still make their money.
Well, hopefully people will be able to differentiate the peeps and the cluster bombs, unlike Afghanistan when the U.S. dropped food packages that looked exactly like the cluster bombs. Lee Camp, always a pleasure to have you on. Comedian, activist.
I want to blow you so bad.
I would love your cock in my mouth. Can we do that later? Oh, am I still on the air?
You even noticed too, like she even did herself up that day.
The between the two of them, to hear Abby Martin, to only be able to hear it, you can hear the difference in the way she talks to him. It's so obvious that she wants his dick.
Yeah, completely. And the next clip I pull of hers for like other shows, I'm going to pull her interviewing other people, and it's nowhere near that charismatic ever.
It shows it. At the end of the day, she's still just a girl.
Yes.
Oh. Joe pissing off our female listenership.
Please write your angry letters to
Am
Joe.
I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, no, not really. We did play that great clip from our man. I can't think of his name now. I'm drawing a blank. Hitchinson, where he was shitting on women's comedy. So maybe there's some truth to it.
I mean, you're not that. Lots Hitchens. Come on.
Right, you can't really argue with that. Now, we always play Mark Dice on the show. He's always up to something fun and funny. And Vito, you found another one this week that he put out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if anybody realizes this or not, but they're actually Mount Rushmore. There's a little extra rock, so they realize they should probably add to Mount Rushmore. You guys aware of this? Joe, are you aware of this?
Mm-mm.
How about you, Brooks?
I have not heard this.
Yeah, it's big news. Paulie, how about you?
No, I know nothing.
Yeah,
Talk about news that's not on the radar at all.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about all this important stuff like the NSA, but in reality, they're going to change Mount Rushmore. And Mark Dice is going around collecting some signatures, and we'll just see what the people of Los Angeles think.
It's basically affirmative action for Mount Rushmore because we just need more racial equality, wouldn't you say, with Mount Rushmore?
My date of birth?
Yeah, birth date, signature, and this just confirms that you're not a racist. Thank you. They're all white men. So we're going to darken it up a little bit.
Okay.
It's a kind of an affirmative action for Mount Rushmore, for more racial equality. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Birth date? And this is great. We're going to add some dark meat up there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We need some affirmative action on Mount Rushmore. So too many white men on there. So this petition will support putting Obama on Mount Rushmore. We need more diversity on Mount Rushmore. I don't know what's wrong with Americans when they put a bunch of white guys up there. Thank you. We're trying to get some more racial equality. It's a very racist monument, don't you think?
Yeah.
This guy will. This guy's got dark skin. Oh, so let's put Obama on Mount Rushmore and darken it up a little bit. It's a kind of a racist. It's to support Obama on Mount Rushmore. It's just because it's a racist monument. There's just a bunch of white guys up there. Come on, show some.
Well,
show some support.
Obama.
What ethnicity are you?
Persian.
Persian.
Yeah. Let's get some color up there. Why not?
Let's get some. Let's darken it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Hey, you got dark skin. We're trying to darken up Mount Rushmore. It's a racist monument, so we're going to put Obama's face on there. Just a name and a signature. What race are you?
Hispanic.
Hispanic. So we need more racial equality everywhere, so we're going to start with Mount Rushmore and, yeah, signature. Just darkening it up a little bit.
There you go.
Birth date. We need more. It's affirmative action for Mount Rushmore is what we're doing.
You want to try to break it down with the intensity, with the
well, there's just too many. There's just too many white men up there, so we're going to darken it up a little bit. So
Oh my God.
I appreciate your help. Thank you. Hey, you signed the petition to put Obama on Mount Rushmore? Trying to darken it up a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a bunch of old white men up there.
Trying to darken it up a little bit.
I think he probably deserves a place in history up there, one of the greatest presidents ever. Hey, will you help us put an end to the racist monument, Mount Rushmore, by adding President Obama's face to it? We're trying to, just a couple more signatures.
What am I signing?
This will be adding President Obama to Mount Rushmore.
I don't want to do that.
Is it because he's black?
No.
We just want to support.
I don't like President Obama. Period.
Well,
So I don't want his face.
but don't you think that Mount Rushmore is a racist monument with just a bunch of white guys up there? We need to add some black people up there. We need more equality. That's what Obama's pushing for. You're against that?
Just push somewhere else.
just push somewhere else. That is youtube.com/Mark Dice. Check out Mark Dice. He's just full of shenanigans all the time.
And I love that he's got balls of steel. He'll just go up to anybody and say anything and get their reaction.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I love it.
Gonna darken it up a little bit up there. Would you sign this piece of paper here?
People are so great what they'll sign too. Like they just sign anything. Like they don't even
their date of birth.
Yeah, they don't even. Yeah, here, no problem. I'll sign that. Like they don't even fucking care.
I'm gonna need your social security number too, please.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'll put it right here.
Bank account and the PIN to your ATM, please.
Jesus, titty fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's amazing what people will put up with. Hey guys, have you ever heard a story where you're just like, no fucking shit that happens? I got a story for you that is one of those things when you hear it, you go, well, no shit this happened. Headline reads, Bear Mauls Alaska Man Who Gave It Barbecue Meat.
Yeah, stay away. Yeah, sorry, you're dead. Next story.
A black bear mauled a man at a campground in Alaska, but the animal likely won't threaten other people, the State Department of Fish and Game said. Spokesman Ken Marsh said the bear was pretty much goaded into an attack Saturday near the campground north of Anchorage because the man fed it meat from a church barbecue.
Hey, well, you know what? Where the fuck was Jesus?
Right. The man could be charged with illegally feeding wildlife, according to Alaska state troopers. And not only should you get mauled by a bear, but you should also be charged with a crime afterwards. That's awesome.
Yes.
Absolutely he should be. He had been drinking and went for a bike ride, taking some food along. The man came across the bear and threw it a piece of meat. He then offered the bear another piece. Quote, that's when it kind of went ballistic.
Like, here's the deal. Why would you offer somebody that, like, could really rip the fuck out of you meat?
Because you're drunk. Because check this out. Park rangers later found the bloodied man washing himself off at the campground. He wasn't terribly coherent. He was unsure of where the attack actually happened. The man was treated for puncture wounds and scratches at an Anchorage hospital. His name was not immediately released, although it should be so that we can shame publicly.
Yeah, his name should just be Dumb Fuck. They should legally change it to Dumb Fuck. Oh, hey, look, there goes Dumb Fuck. Why is he called that? Well, he tried to give bear meat.
You deserve to get eaten.
Yeah.
Like that fucking grizzly man guy, that documentary that eaten by bears.
Yes.
He deserved to be eaten by bears.
Yes.
Not your friend.
Or the guys in Vegas that had the lions. Like, you didn't expect to one day get mauled by one of your lions. Like, come on.
Hey, when you play with fire, don't be surprised when you get burned. You might not get burned all the time, but
And as we always say on the show, if you're going to be a bear, what, Ben?
Be a grizzly, but a black bear seems to be pretty fucking decent. I love the last line of this thing, too. This is how stupid fucking Americans are. The last line of this story says, biologists advise people never to feed wild animals anything.
No shit.
Shit. I mean, why does that have to be typed?
You know what, man? The minute I see a bear, I don't go so much towards it as I do away from it.
Away from it.
That's like
I'm certainly not feeding it barbecue.
That would be like me telling you, Ben, hey, Ben, when you shit, wipe your ass.
Right.
Oh, no shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't do it on the floor. Do it in a toilet.
And don't eat your poop. I mean, come on.
Don't eat your poop. Episode with, that's a great episode. Don't eat your poop. Check it out. Cue Ball
Bears have
Carmichael.
long been a nemesis of mine and an absolute fear and terror of mine. So I'm all for a dead bear.
Here's the deal, though. It's much like Shark Attack. If you're not in the water and you're not in the woods, you really can't get attacked by a bear. So don't go around it. You know, it's just true. I remember Stern talked about Tyra Banks. She did a show, and her biggest fear was dolphins. And he was like, "That's not a fear. You can't be scared of something that you can't come in contact with. Like, if you never wanted to see a dolphin, you would never see a fucking dolphin."
It's like the girl that was afraid of garden gnomes. Like, what the fuck are you
Yeah, right.
afraid
What the
of?
fuck is wrong with you? Dolphins. I'm going to find it just because you have to hear how fucking insane this is. Tyra's fear of dolphins. Here we go.
I mean, I'm afraid of sharks.
Who's not afraid of fucking sharks?
Well, yeah.
Of course you are.
Sharks and bears, dude. Sharks and bears.
But you're not out there, like, swimming with them.
Like, hey, shark.
Yeah, hey, shark. I mean, I'm scared of you, but I wonder if you're going to bite me. Here's a steak.
How's Jaws doing
if you
today?
Stay where you are, Brooks. You have 0% chance of ever being attacked by a shark.
Yeah, you'll never have to
Yet
see that
somehow
fear.
It's not reassuring enough.
0.
Yeah, 0. I mean, like, okay, you're scared of spiders. Well, we have brown lacrosse, so okay, you could have a phobia of those spiders. You're allowed to have those spiders, but you're not allowed to be afraid of dolphins, much like Tyra Banks.
On Tyra, after 20 years,
I really do have a true fear of dolphins.
Tyra finally confronts her biggest fear.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. Can't do it.
You're not even gonna... Tyra, come back. Tyra. Facing unbelievable phobias.
I have a strange fear of ketchup.
My biggest fear is pennies.
Can these women overcome their darkest fears? An all-new Tyra starts now.
Why do people watch this show? Why do anybody watch that fucking show? Could you imagine sitting through that?
No.
No way.
I don't.
Those people need to be introduced to people who have real fucking problems. I'm afraid of pennies. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, pennies. Fucking kill yourself right here in front of everybody, please. You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of a girl who's afraid of pennies. So.
What's wrong with you?
It's funny that you talk about like weird phobias. Joe may remember this, and Brooks from watching SportsCenter. Kansas City Chiefs safety Eric Berry. He's apparently like terrified of horses, and they caught him on the sidelines. He was mic'd up, and like the Kansas City Chiefs, like at the beginning of every game, they come out. And there's a guy on a horse that rides down and like throws a spear down, right? And they caught him talking about this thing that how he was scared of horses here. So let's take a listen to this. I think it's pretty funny.
Oh hell no! They go that horse. That horse. The horse. I wait till they got to the horse pass. I don't mess with horses, bro.
I mean, okay, look at like you're an adult, okay? Like, it's not anywhere near you. It's not coming at you. You're not flagging it down. What on the fuck are you really scared of? What?
Horses are not rampaging through your living room.
Yeah, I mean, be scared.
You know what? They can. All right.
Yeah, you're retarded. I'm sorry. There's a little bit of lack of brain power when you see a horse that's 100 yards away from you going the opposite direction and you're scared of it. I'm sorry.
Scared enough to where you can't even talk. No, I got to wait for that to pass.
It's not a ghost. If you see a ghost, be scared because shit's about to get real. But a horse going the other direction, I think you'll be okay, sir. I think you're going to be all right. Put that motherfucker on a horse and smack that horse on the ass. Let's get over that phobia.
Unless you're the Aztecs being invaded by the Spaniards in the 1500s, you've never seen a fucking horse before.
Yes.
There's no reason to be afraid.
Yes, very, very, very scary. You know, I almost want to ask him, what's the fear? What? It's not like there's a story where, horses sometimes, they're not like pit bulls. Sometimes a pit bull can get you, and he locks his jaw down. Like, what is a horse? Name one story where a horse did something that's scary. I know, like when a rider.
It means they're experts at covering up their shit. They're cold-blooded murdering
horses,
human-eating monsters.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. I never thought. No, I'm scared of horses.
Yeah, check this out. There's a little bit more of this. It's so funny to hear this guy. He's a grown man, an NFL football player, afraid of horses.
Yeah, please play as much as you can.
That horse. Huh? That horse. I don't mess with horses, bro. Straight up. You might come over here and throw a tantrum. Stay inside the box. Stay inside the box. Hold up, Cole. That horse out there. Horse. I don't fool with no horses, boy. Let's go chase. Hey, go ahead and drive that the other way. You don't like the horse? Hell no. I see one the first time. I ain't worried about the tick. I'm worried about the horse.
Eric Berry has equinophobia, the fear of horses.
How is there a phobia name for that? Whoever named that should kill themselves.
Of course there is.
I bet he hates the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, unbelievable. Can you imagine? I'm afraid of horses. I'm a grown-ass man.
Yeah, that doesn't make any. He might come. What did he say? He might come over here and what? He said like he might come over here and do something. Throw a tantrum. Yeah, what does that mean?
It means you got a serious problem if a horse decides to throw a tantrum.
It means he's not sure what the fuck a horse is gonna do.
Oh
the
my
man just
God.
covering all his corners. All right, that's all.
God.
Oh no, there come that horse again.
Yeah, I mean, what's name
You
one
wanna throw
story?
Lordy in there?
Yeah, please name one story where that
Lordy,
happened.
Here comes that horse.
God.
We grew up with a horse farm behind us, and like they were like the coolest animals that come up to you. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, you got a carrot, kick ass. I like you. Like,
Yeah.
you think, I'm not gonna rampage and stomp all over you.
You know, the one time a horse killed somebody is when they're riding them and smacking them in the ass like they're a fucking, just a shitty
The
animal.
Lone Ranger.
Yeah, and then they get knocked off and they get dragged. Those people die. They should die in some sense. So fuck them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You're pretty fine. The only time people are really generally hurt around horses is when you're straddling their back.
Right.
Don't do that, and you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Yeah, pet them and give them carrots, and they're going to be your best friend.
An animal.
Yeah,
that
that's
can
the
be
rodeo
tricked by-
clown.
Yeah,
An
gee.
animal that can be tricked by a simple handful of grass.
Yeah. It's fucking great.
Here it comes. Oh, here's a carrot.
Yeah, here's a carrot. You're fine. Oh, great. Thanks, kind sir. Chomp, 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 chomp. You got another one? No big deal. I'll mosey over here. And then he just turns around and walks away.
It's upsetting that you're not taking the horse threat seriously.
Is there a story you want to tell us, Brooks? I think you might be scared of horses, and you're just scared to admit it.
No, actually, I'm friends with the equine, but
Equine?
because I respect their man-eating capabilities.
Yeah.
You're just mad because you're worried about a shark attack in Illinois.
Dude, that's the worst thing ever. It's like the worst way to die ever, is being eaten alive by something.
Yeah,
I, for the same reason, I fear deep water. I hate deep water. Where if I can't see the bottom, I'm not interested in getting in.
That's a real fear, though. Being scared of sharks when you never could come in contact with them is not fair.
Well, Brooks could go to the Shed Aquarium and see a shark.
It would have to break through the glass and have enough water to fill the room up for that shark to come at him.
It would be, that's my luck, man.
Little do you know that there's drains everywhere. The minute that glass broke, the water would be gone. The fucking shark would be like, "Save me, fuck! Save me!
Last moments
Just
of
spit
energy
on me.
in life,
Give me water."
He would consume me.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate fear.
Start calling you Brooks Banks over here, scared of fucking
Will someone
dolphins.
please illustrate
Respect the
Brooks
shark, man.
getting eaten by a
Respect
shark?
the shark.
Yeah. You know what I'm scared of? I'm scared of drywall. I'm so scared of it. My whole house, I had to rip all the drywall out. I'm just scared of it. I don't know what it'll do, but I'm scared to death of it. So
that's insane. That's just crazy.
No, you have no idea. It's drywall and it's scary. So.
I mean, Joe Rogan has a fear of Brock Lesnar wearing him as a condom to fuck another guy.
That's a real fear. Yeah, if you're by Brock Lesnar, that's a possibility.
Brock smash.
Yeah. Now I can't be as scared of that because I've never been in contact. Well, I did share a locker room with him one time when I worked up in the Fed. So.
Were you trained by them?
I was trained by him actually. He actually walked by me and said, "Hey," and shook my hand. So I mean, I learned how to shake hands from Brock Lesnar.
Right.
So
you took a clinic with him, 2 minutes.
Took a 2-minute clinic with him when he was on top of the world. So. Hey, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but I think it's going to be great for this show, and I think this is more of a round table type thing. This is the best explanation of religion I've ever heard, and I'm practically an atheist, says Raphael Cassell. Bishop John Shelby describes religion. Do you guys have time for this?
Of course we do.
Sure.
Boom.
I don't
just
think
check.
hell
Yes.
exists. I happen to believe in life after death.
We stepped out of it. He says he doesn't believe hell exists. So I'm not going to stop this over and over again, but can you not believe in hell but believe in heaven? Isn't that kind of cherry picking, Ben?
Yes, that's absolutely cherry picking. That is the definition of cherry picking. Is, you know what, I'm going to believe about the good part, but I'm not going to believe about the bad part. Well, you can't have the good part without the bad part. It's how that works.
Right.
If I have to live in fear of going to the bad place, then why the fuck am I worried about it?
Yeah, where do you go when Jesus tells you no?
I've never heard of Christians cherry picking.
Never. How about you, Brooks?
Ever.
I'm against cherry picking in all its forms, especially when it comes down to something as personal and important as religion.
Are you scared of cherry pickers?
No, because I don't think they have the capability of eating me.
But how do you know? What if they pick you to death?
Then you know what? It'll be I'll die on my shield. It'll be an honorable death. You know how many cherry pickers are going down?
Cherry pickers.
How do you feel about people that actually pick cherries for a living?
I love cherries. Oh my gosh! So they're doing God's work. As far as I'm concerned.
Fair enough.
God's work, Vito.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't think hell exists. I happen to believe in life after death, but I don't think it's got a thing to do with reward and punishment. Religion is always in the control business, and that's something people don't really understand. It's in the guilt-producing control business, and if you have heaven as a place where you're rewarded for your goodness and hell as a place where you're punished for your evil, then you sort of have control of the population. And so they create this fiery place, which has quite literally scared the hell out of a lot of people throughout Christian history. Mm. And it's part of a control tactic.
But wait a minute, you're saying that hell, the idea of a place under the earth or somewhere where you're tormented for an eternity, is actually an invention of the church?
I think the church fired its furnaces hotter than anybody else. But I think there's a sense in most religious life of reward and punishment in some form. The church doesn't like for people to grow up, because you can't control grown-ups. That's why we talk about being born again. When you're born again, you're still a child. The people don't need to be born again. They need to grow up. They need to accept their responsibility for themselves and the world.
What do you make of the theology, which is quite prominent?
They're moving to another topic, but I think it's like what he's saying, I believe as well. I think it's a mind control thing, but this is coming from a bishop. How does it stop there? How does your thought process stop there, but then still believe in Jesus Christ and the Bible that talks about heaven and hell?
Right, that you believe that he is really the Son of God that was sent here and to died for our sins. You believe that part.
When there's a middleman in between you and let's call it energy, it's bullshit.
Right, it's pretty much straight up bullshit.
Right.
I've said it before. I think it works. If some people need a guidebook to get through life, some people don't. People that need a guidebook, they need a religion. They need someone to tell them this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is the right way to do it. This is how you measure what's good and what's bad.
But do you got to be told not to kill people? Do you got to be told it's not nice to be mean? Do you need to really be told that? You think without religion we wouldn't know that? We wouldn't have that in our world?
I believe, you know me, I believe 100% that we would have that. But there are people out there that 100%. Yeah, see, Truth believes it too. He agrees too.
I love how he's on Skype with us just to agree with us.
Right. He just hangs out. How about shout out to him real quick? The Detroit Free Press, like the major newspaper in Detroit, did a big article on the House of Truth.
Oh, they did? No kidding.
Yes, they did. Yeah. So shout out to him. The House of Truth. If you are a wrestler in the Midwest and you can't get to Harley and you can't get out to Chikara, the ITR stamp of approval goes on the House of Truth training school as well. So
yeah, or if you can't get to the 80-20 school, shill.
Right. Well, but if you want to get started, you go to Truth.
Yes.
Then you come to the finishing school.
After your 15th booking in Michigan, and you realize that's it, come to me. We'll get you booked. Here we go.
It's quite prominent these days in America, which is that there is one guaranteed way not to go to hell, and that is to accept Jesus as your personal Savior.
Yeah, I grew up in that tradition. Every church I know claims that we are the true church, and they have some ultimate authority. We have the infallible Pope, we have the inerrant Bible. The idea that the truth of God can be bound in any human system, by any human creed, by any human book, is almost beyond imagination for me. I mean, God is not a Christian. God is not a Jew or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist. All of those are human systems which human beings have created to try to help us walk into the mystery of God. I honor my tradition. I walk through my tradition. But I don't believe my tradition defines God. I think it only points me to God.
You and I are emerging people, not fallen people. Our problem is not that we are born in sin. Our problem is we do not yet know how to achieve being fully human. The function of the Christ is not to rescue the sinners, but to empower you and to call you to be more deeply and fully human than you've ever realized there was the potential within you to be.
How? I guess I don't get how he can have that point and still be a bishop.
He's making a good point, though. Okay, so...
But he's making a good argument against religion.
Absolutely.
He's not making an argument
Basically
for himself.
what he's saying, and I agree with this, is don't be a shithead. You know what I mean? Like, whatever happened to that?
Right, but what verses is he talking about after what he's saying?
He's spinning his own web.
That's what I mean. Like, what's he? So then, does he read what? What passages does he read in his church that all goes back to heaven and hell? What is he talking about every Sunday?
He's contradicting himself, but
he's clearly contradicting himself. Like it doesn't cross his mind that he's making an argument against religion.
Yeah,
and he's without saying it, he's saying I pick and choose the parts I want to believe and the parts I don't.
Well, you know, there's part of me when I hear this that I'm actually I'm under the impression that the internet, much like truthers are coming out, I think it's killing religion. I think there's too much out there that exposes religion. There's too much out there that you could actually hunt down and find out it's silly.
I agree.
Do we think, and I kind of want to go around in a little round table with a yes or no answer, do we think one day that all religions will have to just kind of meld together in a sense because there's not going to really be religion left? Is it going to happen one day where they all kind of just meld together? Because we're almost one world with the internet now. No? Ben, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think religion is going to go away. Religion has been around for way too long.
Not go away. I'm saying, have to like alter their thoughts a little bit, and Muslims and Christians and Buddhists and will all one day think the same.
Honestly, I think just more people are going to shy away from. I think you'll see attendance at church in the next 30 years. Attendance at church is going to decline significantly. I really do believe it. As our parents' generation and their parents' generation die off, I think more people in our generation don't believe nearly as staunchly as our parents and their parents do. Am I right or am I wrong on that, I guess?
I think you're right. Brooks, what's your thoughts?
No, I tend to agree. The idea of religions melding into one would be interesting because they all came from one source. At least the three major religions are all based around one general text. And you hit on something there when you said that the internet was a big was responsible for the decline of religion, because because you got to see that there were other people that had different points of view. There was it brought you into like being a global society. Not just a continental one or one limited to your country, your neighborhood. You got to see the world, man. It's out there. People's thoughts. People think like you. People think like your friends, your enemies. Realize that we're all just we're just one race of people. So it condensed our global perspective, so to speak, and kind of made religion and what it pretends to explain unnecessary, to be honest with you, because nobody knows. An atheist doesn't know what's there just as much as a Christian or a Muslim knows what's there. You don't. You just don't know. It's your best guess. So knock it off. It's not necessary.
Joe, what's your thoughts?
In generations, I mean, that's a possibility. I think for it to boil or to meld into something else. But as long as there's dumb people, and as long as there's money to be made off dumb people, and as long as people can make money off religion, unfortunately, it'll exist. I think, and I don't see those things going away for a long time.
Paulie?
I don't think religions will ever come together as one, because there's always going to be those people that my religion's better than yours. Well, I don't like this idea. My idea is better than
my
that.
team's better than your team.
Right. So I don't think that could ever happen. Although, I don't see it happening, man. And
people are tribal, and we like to faction off into groups.
Yeah, yep. I agree with that. Moving on to other news. Did you guys hear about this mother in Texas? Ben, maybe you heard about it, because I think if you live in Texas, you obviously know everything that goes on in Texas.
No, I try to keep my nose out of Texas business as much as possible because it frustrates the shit out of me.
Texas mom gives carjacker a lesson he'll never forget with messing with her kids. That's a news story, so we'll start and stop accordingly. Whoops. Yeah, it's this really weird thing with the internet. When you want to hear the video, you have to actually take it off mute.
Right.
It's crazy. I didn't know that.
Gutsy mom in Texas. She was with her 2 young kids when a man carjacked them in broad daylight. He had a knife, and he forced the mom to drive in search of an ATM. But that is when she made a very brave move. And ABC's Rob Nelson has the story.
Today, a family is safe because of one mother's brave act.
You don't come after people with kids. And I told him that he messed with the wrong witch.
Dorothy Baker and her 2 young children were shopping at a CVS in Baytown, Texas, when police say 54-year-old Ismael Martinez hid in Baker's unlocked van.
He popped up out of the back seat and said that if I didn't want my kids to get hurt, that I would do exactly what he said.
Martinez allegedly pulled a knife on Baker while she was driving and demanded she stop at an ATM for cash. When Baker refused, she says Martinez became violent.
She's got a cut that goes across her chest, and she grabbed the knife and he bit her hand.
Baker refused to back down.
And I took my fist and I hit him in the face. And I told him to get out of my car.
According to police, Martinez jumped out of the van and
Get out of my
took matters
car.
into her own hands.
I didn't mean to run him over. I was just trying to stop him so he didn't hurt anybody else.
Others in Baytown proud of the action one mother took to protect her kids.
She was trying to protect herself and her kids. I'll do the same thing.
Martinez is expected to face felony charges once he's released from Memorial Hermann Hospital, where he was airlifted with serious injuries after the alleged attack.
We're safe, and that's what matters.
For Good Morning America, Rob Nelson, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should arrest her, though. That's a little un-American, isn't it? I mean, she attacked somebody with a car. He was leaving the scene.
Fuck that. He had a knife. She did the right thing. I would have backed up and ran him over again, man.
Yeah.
You don't mess with someone's kids. I don't have kids.
But you do know a lawyer is going to spin this, that he was trying to leave the scene and she ran him over.
Right, even though he was in the wrong with the knife in the back seat.
I'm just saying. Gentlemen, Joe, what's your thoughts?
Not in Texas, that won't happen. But where was their gun, Texas? Come on, I thought everyone's supposed to be armed down there.
Yeah, don't they all tote pistols?
Where's your gun?
Where was her horse? Brooks, what's your thoughts?
She had a horse?
Yes.
And all problems would have been solved.
Yes, the man would have been too scared of the horse to attack her.
No doubt. I mean, no doubt you defend yourself. And I don't know why this... Well, actually, this is more news than finding out about somebody getting shot or something like that. Because it's important to see that somebody else stood up for themselves. We need to hear more things like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because... I've talked to people and I've gotten responses like, when asked the question, what would you have done if you were on one of those planes on 9/11? Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't, but you wouldn't have stood up and said, all right, well, I just got a text that said one plane hit a tower. And guess where we're headed? You're not going to do anything? We need more people to stand up and do stuff, period.
Well, yeah, and arguably, if you believe people were on the planes.
Good point.
And deeper down the rabbit hole you go.
Yeah, right. Hey, Brian Kendrick believes that was computer animated shit and it was all done by HARP. So the rabbit hole goes very, very deep. What I'm saying isn't that deep. So
I don't know. No, what you're saying is not very well. I mean, it's deep for some people, but it's extremely plausible that they just remove those people from those planes and even put them on different ones. And
there were reports that the plane landed.
Okay. If we're going to believe that theory for just a second,
which one?
That they took those people off the planes, and somehow those planes were empty and there was no people in them. Where are those people?
Maybe the government just killed them.
Well, then why wouldn't you just leave them on the planes?
Well, like my overall point is, who knows what the fuck happened, and that's a great point. But the idea is anything's possible. Maybe they did leave them on the planes, but there were
you can't leave them on the planes. But there's always a chance that they're going to figure some way to take control of the plane.
Yeah, there were 30 to 60% of each plane was filled with government agency workers and military personnel.
Maybe they're in a camp somewhere.
Well, it's just with Tupac. Yeah, Tupac and Michael Jackson. Though the overall point is, though, there were Flight 93 landed on the docket of the plane records, that it landed somewhere else and took off again. Why is it on the docket that happened? Why is that on their trail of things that took place that day? Why did it land?
Yeah, those are all great questions. But what I'm not going to be able to wrap my head around is they took the people off the planes.
Here's another question. How in the world did they make cell phone calls when the cell phone technology wasn't capable till 2004 to make a call from an aircraft? It wasn't possible. It's impossible. So people calling from their cell phones and talking to their loved ones, how was that possible?
I agree. I don't think that it was possible.
But they did. They made phone calls from the airplane on their cell phones to their loved ones.
I'd never seen.
Check out this clip
that's
from
crazy.
The Howard Stern Show.
Check out this clip. Yeah, no. So there's too many anomalies around it to believe one side or the other. So I don't know what to believe, but I believe more of a drone hitting those buildings than people dying in it. Sorry.
The official story sucks.
So,
yes,
sucks.
absolutely.
100%.
And I don't know.
Fucking thing sucks.
I don't know that we'll ever know the truth.
Never.
But it's better that people question the official story and look out for themselves and try to investigate.
It would take the Goonies up in somebody's attic in Washington to bump into the picture and have the picture fall over and find the map in the back. That's the only way we'll ever find out about 9/11. So hopefully the Goonies will find out about it.
Let's hope.
I love the fucking Goonies. Isn't that one of the best movies ever?
Still holds up to this day.
Ever.
It's awesome.
It's our time down here.
It all ends when you go up Troy's bucket.
Fuck Troy.
I haven't seen the Goonies in probably 20 years.
Dude, it's so good. If you go back and listen to Your Heart Still Pounds, it's a great movie. This is basically my last news story of the day, as far as what I have here that we could bounce around. Did you guys hear about the life coach whose basically sole job is to coach people to better themselves? These two, and they're, what do they call that when you're married by years? Because you've been
common law.
Common law. Thank you, Professor Brooks. Common law married couple, I guess you call them, kill themselves. And it's kind of funny. It's funny not that they're dead, but it's funny that their job was to life coach people, and yet they took their own lives. So here's the police report.
Two self-help coaches apparently committed suicide together in their Brooklyn apartment. This video shows psychotherapist Lynn Rosen and her common-law husband, John Ledig, co-hosting this public radio show. It was called The Pursuit of Happiness. Apparently, the couple couldn't follow their own advice for leading fulfilling lives.
That's exactly right. Stepping out of your comfort zone is very important. Or,
I want to kill myself listening to this show.
Start to get comfortable with change.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, let's kill ourselves.
So their apartment building manager said that he started smelling a strong odor coming from their apartment Monday. breaks down the door, and what did he find? Their bodies holding hands on the sofa. Police say plastic bags covered the couple's heads. A tube attached to a helium canister was nearby. Ledig also worked as a musician, we're told. Here is a clip, recent YouTube video.
No, you don't need to see the recent YouTube. Listen how fucking terrible this song is. Here you go.
Why would you kill yourself that way? That
Right.
sounds like a horrible way to do
Okay,
it.
I'm not kidding. If it came down tomorrow that I had to kill myself, give me some heroin, give me some blow, give me something fun.
Going out like a rock star.
Yeah, give me something fun. You know, there's that comedy bit where the guy says he's going to get full. I think it's Dennis Leary. He's going to eat a bunch of food, get all stuffed. He's going to go into the only building known for having white everything.
It's Joe Rogan.
It's Joe Rogan. He's
Yeah.
going to blow his brains out so shit.
I want motherfuckers quitting their job over me.
He wants people quitting their jobs. Here's this guy's terrible fucking song. I would have killed myself too.
Two suicide notes were found in the couple's apartment. The man's note read, quote, "I can't take it anymore. My wife is in too much pain." The couple ran a life coach company promoting personal growth and inner happiness.
I mean, what were you in pain about?
What? Could you
I
imagine?
think we deserve a better explanation than just that.
Right. and you leave a note and you don't explain the pain. You just leave a note saying, she's in pain. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Butters.
We'll be back.
How about you leave a note to explain to the ones that survived what happened? You don't leave a note to make way more questions come out.
Say, look,
Right.
we had $2 million in debt, and we couldn't take it.
Good. You killed yourself. Thank you. Don't say about, we got some problems. Goodbye. What?
Imagine
It's
you
been
went to
real.
these people to be, you paid them to be your life coach, and then you find out that they killed themselves like this.
Will anybody else kill themselves because of it?
You'd think
Kill
so,
yourself
right?
if you have a life coach.
I'll tell you
Good
what,
point.
when it comes time for me to kill myself, get ready for the
When
biggest.
it comes time.
When that time arrives, you're gonna get the biggest scavenger hunt list in the world
Ever.
ever.
I'm suicide
It'll be the
bombing
most.
the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah,
It'll be
right.
The most ambiguous question, non-answering letter ever, and you'll have to hunt for stuff to get any semblance of why the fuck did he do that.
Take 3 paces to the left. Find the homeless man. Turn right. Go to the boat and dig deep.
You'll know I cared.
Yeah.
Before I killed myself.
We'll need the
You know
Goonies
I
for
cared.
Brooks' suicide.
Yeah, we need the Goonies. Dun, 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 dun. Isn't it like an Indiana Jones music? Is their fucking theme?
And it'll end up that Brooks's body will be in the basement at OBT with the LWF ring. next to the
Yeah,
LWF
clinging
ring.
to the bottom rope.
In the old casket that's probably still down
It's my time down here.
Yeah. Jesus,
That
titty
casket-
fucking
that,
Christ.
that thing hurt.
Was that the only casket match that was done there?
Yes. Yes.
And why was it a casket match? What was the deal?
That was for an absolute control of the company. So it was the finish of our big storyline.
Gotcha.
And it was
Yeah,
epic.
yeah, epically painful.
Billy Wack, not the greatest in-ring performer to ever grace the ring.
But he didn't go through a table to kill the company, so.
Hey, you guys want to know what my favorite part of the Goonies is? It's really funny. It's Chunk. Anything with Chunk is really fucking great. and it's when the Fratellis want him to admit where his friends are.
Everything?
Everything. And they're admit everything. And he's like, everything? And he just goes back to a childhood and starts admitting everything he ever did. Listen how funny this is.
Hey, kid, I want you to spill your guts. Tell us everything. Everything.
Everything. Okay, I'll talk. In 3rd grade, I cheated on my history exam. In 4th grade, I stole my Uncle Max's toupee and I glued it on my face when I played Moses in my Hebrew school play. In 5th grade, I knocked my sister Edie down the stairs and I blamed it on the dog. My mom sent me to a summer camp for fat kids. And then one during lunch, I got nuts and I pigged out and they kicked me out. That's the worst thing I ever done. I mixed up all this fake puke at home, and then I went to this movie theater, hid the puke in my jacket, climbed up to the balcony, and then Then I made a noise like this. And then I dumped it over the side. And all the people in the audience, then this was horrible. All the people started getting and throwing up all over each other. I never felt so bad in my entire life.
I'm beginning to like this kid, man.
Get puree.
I never felt so bad in my entire life. Oh, this is horrible.
If you watch the movie with the commentary on, commentary with the entire cast, he actually did a couple of those things. He explains that, he goes, I really did steal my uncle's toupee.
Gotcha.
I did all this shit.
I wear it on my face. That cracked me up because I stole my uncle's toupee and wore it on my face.
In the Hebrew play.
When he played Moses.
He played Moses.
This is horrible.
This is horrible. And then I dumped it over the side, and then everyone started puking. It was the worst thing I ever did.
At camp and at third lunch.
Yeah, I had his third lunch.
I went nuts.
The back of my head is hurting, and that's a minute and 26-second clip. I'm telling you, the movie's classic.
I'm beginning to like this kid.
Yeah, chunk.
Oh man, well, boys, I think it's about that time. I know we're a little bit early, but I think it's a perfect time to say it was nice to know you. We had some fun tonight. No guest. We'll hopefully be able to reschedule with said guest. I talked to him earlier today, but whatever. But yeah, it was nice to know you, fellas.
I guess our name's not Joe Rogan, so it's not that important to come on our show.
Yeah, I guess not.
Facebook.com/ITR Live.
Yes, check us out. We'll be back next week with episode 49, and we may possibly have a huge guest, so stay tuned to the Facebook page as we announce that. We'll be back. See you next week.
Now, before I finish, let me just say, I did not come here to show out, did not come here to impress you, because to tell you the truth, when I leave here, I'm gone, and I don't care what you think about me, but just remember, when it hits the fan, brother, whether it's next year, 10 years, 20 years from now, you'll never be able to say that these brothers lied to you, Jack.
We're talking about wrestling, and if your answer to us is you don't even know me, no shit, asshole. I'm talking about what I know about you. Okay? Right. Seriously, if a guy rapes a chick, he's a rapist. Absolutely. Did I have to watch him rape the chick? No. Okay, so when I see the guy in the trash bag fucking gear doing the trash bag shit and his finisher is the RKO, sorry, sir, you're a shithead. Yes.
Better than watching Geller bending silver spoons. That's fucking shit. Better than witnessing newborn nebulas and blue. No, I never went to Romeo High School. She'll see it's from up high, smiles and surely sings.
Telling you to get the fuck out of the business.
Prospective riser wants weighty eyes, and it gives you away. Haven't felt the way I feel today. It's so long, it's hard for me to specify. I'm beginning to notice how much this feels like the waking man. Pins and needles, nice to know you. Goodbye. 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 Nice to know you. To know deeper than the deepest Cousteau would ever go. Give me a Dr. Pepper, bitch. And higher than the heights of what we often think we know. That's the she who clearly sees the wood for the trees. To obtain a bird's eye is to turn a blizzard to a breeze.
Just to book me is the same as booking 9 fucking independent wrestlers from their area.
It's so long, it's hard for me to specify. I'm beginning to notice how much this feels like a waking man. Pins and needles, nice to know you. Goodbye. Nice to know you. Goodbye. Nice to know you.
The people that have a problem with pot, and this was in one of my jokes, one of my CDs, but it's true. If pot fucked up your life, it's just because pot got there first, okay? It could have been cheeseburgers, scratch tickets, the horse races. If it was a plant that makes you look at the world in a more humble way, it makes food taste better, it makes you silly, it makes you want to love your friends more, makes sex better, makes food taste better. If that fucks up your life, you are an idiot.
And it's because those guys are making it. They've passed.
Yeah, they don't want to sit on the phone and talk about QXAPW when they're wrestling in notes. No offense, man.
That when you get to a certain point, you look back at the other guys, and if they're not doing it too, and they're not working at the same as hard as you are, you think less of them. Can't you understand that? You wouldn't be the same way if you put in the time to work on your body and work on your wrestling and get yourself booked and make connections and get yourself to Japan and get yourself looked at by WWE seriously or get a developmental deal. Wouldn't you look back at the other guys that are sitting on their couch 4 or 5 days a week and only wrestling on the weekends? You'd look down on them, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Listen, cunt. Today ain't your day.
All right. Hey, guys. We still have a little bit more time.